Hey YouTube, Dusty here, and I'm excited to announce I have officially launched my Patreon page. If you like what I do, you can sign up for tiers like Saiyan, Super Saiyan, and Super Saiyan Rose to unlock exclusive daily content. You can also unlock unique callers for my new Discord channel. Regardless if you become a Patreon or not, make sure you stop by and say hello. All right, guys, how is it going? Gonna pop this call going. Here we go. Get everybody on here. Switch it over to the right overlay. And how's it going, guys? Welcome to episode 9 of the Supercast. Now, today we have a full house. We have Danny Hype, we have Jordan Markle, we have Scotch, and we have Maxwell Williams. I'm not gonna lie, I had to actually look at the name tags to make sure I didn't forget anybody. But I'm gonna let everybody go through and introduce themselves. I want to apologize, guys. The overlay looks kind of bad. I was like in a hurry and I was trying to make it work with the webcams. I wasn't exactly sure how I was gonna get everybody on here, but we figured it out. It's Scotch's fault. That's why it looks bad. So remember, anything that goes wrong with this cast, from now on, it's Scotch's fault. So just make sure you type that in the chat. Scotch's fault.
We had a good run, I guess.
Yeah, did pretty good. Danny, I'm gonna let you start off, kind of introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your YouTube channel, let everybody know how they can find you, and then again, we're just gonna go around the table here. So it'll be Danny, and then Jordan, Scotch, Max, and then again, guys, if you have any questions for these guys, you can put at their names in chats, and you can also put at KitchenTableMeta and ask questions throughout this cast. So go ahead, Danny.
Cool. What's up, guys? So I am Danny Hype. I have my YouTube channel, which is Danny Hype. So if you want to check that out, please do. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I've been playing this game since it came out. I love this game. We recently went to the ARG Hartford Regionals. I went down with a bunch of friends and I performed, I think, pretty well. I kind of wish I took one down, but yeah. So I'm just another YouTuber. I do stream sometimes as well on Twitch TV. Usually other games, but I do try to stream some Dragon Balls as well. But yeah, I love this game, and I'm happy to be here with Dusty.
Definitely, man. Top 16, that's not too bad. Out of what, 222 people, Max? Is that right?
Something like that.
237.
237? Okay, so I was completely wrong. Cool. Jordan, why don't you introduce yourself, buddy?
All right. Well, my name's Jordan Markle. I've been here a few times before. Active on the forums, the Facebook group. I have a YouTube channel, Big Boy 17350, and I'm going to be putting up another video here probably tonight or tomorrow on the CT Regional. So stay look for that.
Never lost a match. Markle.com is what they have in the chat.
Yeah.
You're actually the only person undefeated, right? No, actually, Nick did too, right?
Me and my boy Nick were both undefeated.
Both undefeated.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Scotch, you're up.
All right, guys. My name is Scotch TY. I was a floor judge at Hartford. I'm a Twitch streamer, twitch.tv/ScotchTY, as well as I'm a member of the Wise Guys. So, I mean, check out the Twitch, check out the YouTube for the Wise Guys. That's pretty much it.
Definitely. I mean, Wise Guys, great group of people. I haven't got a chance to meet them all yet, but I've interacted with a couple of them, and they've been fantastic. So good to have you here. Good to represent them. All right, Max, the last but not least, head judge at the Hartford Regional, Maxwell Williams.
Hi, that's me. I'm Max. I'm always around in the Dragon Ball community, just doing what I do. I have a cell phone. I don't really want to give that information out, so I don't really have a really easy way to contact me. But thank you all for your time.
No problem. All right, guys. So essentially in this episode, we're going to talk about the Hartford Regionals from literally every standpoint. We have, 2 of the top players here. We have 2 judges here, the head judge. I streamed it. So we're going to literally have, tons of stuff to talk about. Again, if you guys have any questions about the regional, make sure you put them in the chat. You just go at KitchenTableMeta. We'll get to your questions. Also, guys, if you haven't already, please go pre-register for the Orlando Regional. Guys, that's the only way we're going to make this game grow is if we just keep, having more and more people at these regionals. I'll tell you that Bandai was very impressed with how many people showed up, and if we can just keep that up, I think that's going to spell good things for our game. So, so Max, I'll let you kind of start off, man. What did you think about being the first ever head judge? How'd that go, and how'd the event go for you?
Honestly, it was a great event. I was actually kind of stoked about it. It was it was relatively painless from the aspect of actually just running the event, but like honestly, there was a lot of stress behind the scenes, just kind of doing a lot of things.
Sure.
Because there were so many people, there were so many new things to get adjusted to for this new game, new hurdles to get used to, because we had a little bit of a different staff, and it was like kind of hard working with people for the first time. But
Sure.
honestly, it was great. I loved it.
Yeah. How about you, Scotch, from a judge? How was it?
Oh, I mean, it ran really well. Round one was a lot of us touching, and feeling out each other as judges, trying to get that sync going. But once we hit our stride in round two, round three, it was just clean sailing from there.
Yeah.
Max sat there and he goes, "You guys are each other's best resources. Love each other." And then that was like, he just walked away after that. And we were like, "Oh, okay."
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, let's say, I mean, I haven't, I talked to a lot of people before and after the regional, and I had no one complain about the judges. Not one person was like, I lost because of a judge call or whatever. It was all, good stuff. So, Danny, Jordan, how'd the game go as players, man? How'd you guys think? Was it grueling? Was it a lot of rounds? So it was like, so Danny, you made top 16, so you ended up playing what, 9 rounds?
Yeah, I ended up the one extra round in the top 16.
Right.
For me, it was super. Like, that was like the first major event I've ever played for any card game. Like, I've played other card games before, but nothing as intense as I've been doing Dragon Ball.
Sure.
And but yeah, so it's like 200 and something people, like you said. I've never been part of something like that, so it was like, well, I play poker, so I do play tournaments like in that size, but not for a card game like this. And I was just like going down with a bunch of my friends. Like, the road trip was fun. Like, getting to the Airbnb and just being in a big house with a bunch of my friends was really fun. Just play testing and stuff like that. And like, just outside of the card game, the whole experience of the trip and everything was like super fun. And then, although like leading up to the event and like during the weekend, I didn't sleep at all because I was like too excited, or like there wasn't really any time to sleep, it felt like, especially because they were like so early in the morning. But yeah, it's like I ran on like no sleep, but like when the event started going, like my adrenaline started pumping, and like I just had all the energy to last. Like I did get hungry like at a few points, but like having teammates going out to like while they were done or something, grabbing you food was like really helpful. And yeah, it was like the event ran, well, at least for me, like I've never been to something else, but for me I felt like it ran smoothly.
Sure. And
like I didn't have any problems, and like I got to meet a whole bunch of like cool people, other YouTubers, even people who are like fans of mine, I guess. I don't want to say I have fans, but like people who at least watch my content.
Quotation marks? What do you mean?
I don't know. Like I don't like whenever I say fans, I always feel like, oh, this guy thinks he's famous or something. Like he has fans, so I don't want to like.
Yeah, I mean, you are coming off like a dick, sure, but I mean, yeah. you still had fans, right? I mean, you have people come. That's awesome.
But yeah, and, people were saying hi to me, so it was really like, it was super fun.
Definitely, that's awesome. Now, let me ask you a question. This is a serious question. Can you explain to me just very briefly about Airbnb? Because it seems like if I would ever go to an Airbnb, I would just be stabbed immediately. So like, it seems like the sketchiest thing to me. Like, how does it work?
That was like the first time I've actually done that as well. Like, my friends that I went with, they had the more experience, so I kind of let them deal with that. But it was essentially, they found a house that somebody, I guess, just rents out to us. We got there, and I guess they gave us the code to their house, so we just punch in the code or the key, whatever. We just go in, and then we just stay there for a couple nights. It's kind of just like a hotel, but a house, I guess. And it was just a lot cheaper. And yeah, it was it was my first experience with it, but it seemed like it was pretty cool.
That sounds sick. Okay, Jordan, how'd it go for you, man? Undefeated, never lost a game. How'd it go?
Well, it went good. I went 5-0-3 at the regional. 5 wins, 3 draws, no losses. I ended up finishing 22nd. So pretty good showing. I'm pretty happy about it, but it's really unfortunate to not lose and still not make it into top cut. But I definitely had a good time. It was very fun meeting old faces, new faces, playing a couple other card games. I knew a lot of people that played this game. But yeah, it was just a really long day one. Most of my games went to like closer to the end, so like it was kind of like one game, then you had like 5 minutes to the next game, and then it just kept on going like that. So it was a very well run event.
Sure.
But it was just super fast.
Sure. I mean, very long too, because you're playing a more controlling deck anyway, right? So you're not going to get that time. You're not going to get that turn 2 kill and be able to sit down for a couple minutes, right?
Nope.
All right. Well, so we have some questions rolling in, guys, and we'll let everybody answer them too. So the first question is from Twilight Avalon. Says, what are the chances at the overturning of the Crusher Ball ruling? And he says a little bit more, but it's just more of his opinion. What do you think, Max?
It's not going to get overturned. I spent a little bit of time, not so much fighting the ruling, but just I wanted them to kind of clarification of the wording and how they define like adjusting games process being pending.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, when a window has two or more conflicting effects, they're both kind of like shoved into one window essentially. So in essence, with that, the Crusher Ball ruling does make sense. You know, it also affects her whole bloodlust here.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to his other comment, just to touch on it briefly here, I don't foresee that being the case with yellow. I mean, yellow kind of had a low showing here in the top cut. I mean, it definitely was there, but it dwindled out. So
no, for sure. I mean,
okay.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I'll let everybody answer here, but I think, you know, honestly, I think right now yellow is the weakest color, and I think if it wasn't for, you know, cards like Cold Bloodlust and Crusher Ball, you wouldn't see very much play at all with that. I mean, the leaders are great. I mean, yellow has probably, you know, some of the best leaders, you know, at least from set 1. Set 2, they're a little too specific, but you know, they're just very, very great cards. You know, so what do you guys think about yellow? You know, what are you guys feeling?
I like to think there's a lot of potential for yellow. I know in the Cardos game, there's a bunch of really, really crazy things that happen. Like there's coming from another game, coming from Vanguard, we actually have a term for what it is, a ride chain. So it's a card that searches the deck for a higher version of itself and immediately summons it. And you can go up a chain for it. So in the Cardos game, there's a first form Frieza that essentially pops one of your own energy to search second form Frieza, and it's just like the cell. I call the cell a ride chain too. So, you know, you pop an energy, take the second form cell or Frieza, put it on top, and then you can keep doing that up until you get to Golden Frieza. Okay. So if that happens, you know, we're gonna have another cell, and I think that's interesting to say the least. But yellow is kind of our hard counter set, color. It's got everything to basically curb any other color. However, right now, it's got 4 different archetypes for it, so it's getting a little harder as time goes on to actually build a functioning yellow deck without splashing in other colors.
Yeah, I mean, yellow has, let's see, the top 5 yellow cards. We have like Crusher Ball, Cold Bloodlust, Mecha Frieza, Battering Laser. I don't know, we'll throw another card in there. You know, almost all those cards are super restrictive, right? Like 2 of those cards you can only play with Frieza's army leaders. Battering Laser, you have to pitch another yellow card. It just seems like they're very restrictive. What do you think, Jordan? I mean, you have the most experience playing with yellow cards out of everybody here, so what do you think?
Yeah, it's there's not many cards in yellow that are like, I would say, like very good, but the ones that are good are very good and are very cheap. So it lets you splash them into decks. That's kind of why tricolor is a thing, because you can splash a little bit in, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue, you know, do your thing. But no, they're just really cheap, effective counter cards, and they help control the game. That's why generally, if they're playing yellow, you're going to be playing more of a control-y deck.
Yeah, I mean, so Danny, what do you think? I mean, because to me, I think, you know, as far as the yellow cards go, if it wasn't for Super Saiyan Gotenks, I don't think Tricolor Ginyu would work at all. What do you think?
Yeah, that's I was actually about to bring that up. Like, one of you just said that yellow doesn't really have any kill power, or at least kill power that's easy to get out.
Sure.
Actually, except for maybe Mecha Frieza, but I don't know. That one just feels weak, and especially Tri-Ginyu. But yeah, I played Tri-Ginyu for set 1 for quite a while, and it felt strong because there wasn't anything in that set to really deal with it, I guess. But now with the Cell Leader, like ever since I started playing Cell Leader, Ginyu just felt really weak to me, and like. You can get around Cold Bloodlust, you can get around the Crusher Balls and stuff like that, just with his, well, not maybe not Crusher Ball, but Cold Bloodlust with his Cell ability. And being able to control the board with your Cell Leader, it just, on that flip side, makes him so much better. And that's why I think when Vegeta was really strong in set 1, when Ginyu, like when Jordan came out with the whole Ginyu thing, and when they started battling each other, it's like on the flip side, Vegeta just felt like a vanilla 15k attacker, whereas, you know, Ginyu allowed you to play Cold Bloodlust, which was such a big thing for set 1. But for set 2, it's like, I figured, like I knew Cold Bloodlust, obviously Cold Bloodlust is a really good card, but I think yellow's weakness, like you said, how it's probably the weakest color. Like if it didn't have Cold Bloodlust, it'd just be unplayable. Like yellow would be unplayable.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, 100%. No, definitely. Okay, so the next part of his question, last part goes super rare arts. Which is your favorite super rare art? So we'll start with you, Max. Which one's out of all the super rare arts? Which one's your favorite?
Ooh, that's tough.
It's a tough question.
Honestly, it's between set 1 Brawly and Jiren.
Oh yeah, set 1 Brawly is sick. Yeah, definitely. How about you, Scotch? I see you thinking. I see the wheels turning.
I'm gonna say Lightning Fast Hit. That's my boy.
Okay.
I
actually think that art looks stupid, Scotch. But he looks like a beetle.
Yeah. Excuse me.
He looks like a beetle.
I love Lightning Fast Hit. I think it's more so the fact of how many times like you can shock your opponent by playing that card is why
Right,
it's
right.
my favorite one.
No, I mean, the card's sick. The card's really sick. I actually think it's well positioned in the meta, too, honestly. I actually think he's in a good spot right now. If
Especially with Rise.
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. If TN being played as much as it has, Ginyu, like all these decks that want to awaken themselves, very good. Mine is the Beerus. I love Beerus. I mean, Beerus, I don't care. You could put him on any card and I'd play it. I just love Beerus. So.
Damn it, you just stole my guy.
I know. See, that's what I saw Danny about to say it, and I was like, I can't let Danny say Beerus. No, that's my boy. All right, Jordan.
7-drop Beerus was like my MVP for like my tournament run. Like I Beerus
Sure.
almost more than half my opponents. But his art, like the art, it's also my favorite as well. Yeah. That one and the new Gohan, the 7-drop Gohan from set 2. I really like that one.
Yeah, I actually, I tell you, I actually don't like Gohan that well in the show. But like once he grows up, I'm sorry. But like his younger versions and stuff, he looks so sick. Like they did such a good job with his art and stuff. And they just like this game just has so much awesome art in it anyway. It's just like it's such a cool. So, all right, Jordan.
I was gonna say Brawly. Everybody else took all the other good ones. I feel like.
That's all I got left. That's it. All right. So the next question says, "What's the official ruling for usable tokens?" Well, let Max answer that question.
Hello. I will be happy to have an example for you here. So, this is a Pokemon card. You could use a Pokemon card. You probably shouldn't. This is the back of a Pokemon card. This can be tapped, so it can be rested. And it can be activated and readied. You can determine what state it's in. So anything that meets that criteria can be used. You cannot use a Dragon Ball Super card. I'm okay with like the 2-drop red card. I can't remember the name of it that makes the 2 Gotenks tokens. If you just like Sharpie over that to leave just the ghost, that's fine. Like, that's obviously not a card you're going to put in your deck because it has no text. But like if you just like grab your sideboard, flip it over, like that doesn't work for tokens. You cannot do that.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
What about dice, Max?
I don't want to. I'm saying no to dice.
Yeah.
We actually
had a couple.
Yeah, we had to use dice on the stream once, and it was miserable because it was like one is active and 2 is like rested.
We're actively discussing that now. I'm against dice, but
yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I've heard that Bandai is talking about possibly bringing out some tokens and stuff, which would just be awesome. But yeah, no, I agree.
I would expect them to have them for sure at some point.
No, for sure. All right. Next up at Kitchen Table Meta, what are the chances of Leap of Faith, Goten / Trunks changing to a in battle area ability versus a in hand ability?
It's my card. It's my
card.
All right,
Scotch, well, I'll let you answer it. What do you think? What are the chances?
All right, so I've gone in depth in conversation with people about this, including Max. The card's effect alludes that it's from hand. One other card from the hand signifies that it's a from hand effect. First thing I did on Saturday morning when I met Max, I was like, Max, Goten Trunks. He goes, from hand. I was like, cool, that's all I needed. That was all I needed. It's just the way that the card is worded. If it didn't say one other card from hand, or if there was a comma anywhere in that statement, then it would be from the field. But because it does say take this card and one other card from your hand, it's from the hand. And I do not see Bandai errating that at all.
Sure. Max, anything to add?
I can definitely understand everyone's concern with that. I'm not the biggest fan of the way it's worded myself, but there's no competing clause anywhere in the rulebook that says those activate effects like that had to be like represented from the field. And I get that if you even think of it like that, you could still kind of loosely interpret it that you could put it plus a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. But no, that card is just meant to be used in the hand. It's just we were unfortunate enough for it to come out like that. But I mean, the good news is for the most part, everyone does understand that there's just a little confusion. Ideally, I hope that will die down as time goes on.
Right, sure, yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, that card would be pretty bad if it was if you had to play it and then.
Yeah,
right, no,
Snap not playing it at all.
Yeah.
It's a 3-drop that minuses me +2 on. Nah, I'm good. I don't need that.
All right. So this is a question I'll ask. It says, at KitchenTableMeta, what did you guys think of the game loss in finals? So before we get into that too much, I do want to say that, I streamed it. I was there. I got to see kind of everything behind the scenes. And I want to say, first of all, it was unfortunate. I mean, it stinks. You hate to see, someone get a game loss, in the finals. But it, in my opinion, it was his fault. So, I mean, he did mess up. He did set the board up incorrectly. And I will say from firsthand, because I don't want Max to have to do it himself, but Max, so Greg was the stream judge. He made his ruling, and then it went to Max. And then Max and the assistant head judge both took plenty of time figuring out, and it was really cool because it all happened beside me the whole time. So it was just really cool to see how professional it was handled, because I've played in a lot of events before and I've seen rulings like that happen, but I never get to see kind of how it happens. If that makes sense. You just kind of sitting there and you're kind of waiting. So I got to kind of see like the inner workings of it, and it was really cool to see. I saw them both sit down. They both went through the manuals. They both were trying to figure out what they could do, and it was just to me it was handled super professionally. So that's my opinion. From my angle of it. Max, Scotch, what do you guys think? You guys were actually there. You were part of it. How did you guys feel?
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I actually had this happen a couple of times during the main tournament as well, and I ruled it the exact same way. Max came over at one point and agreed with me because they appealed to it, but at the point that it was caught, the player whose life was short had already drawn a card. At that point, it's an irreparable game state. If it had been caught a little bit earlier, sure, you could have made the argument that you could repair it. But unfortunately, that's just how the ruling is. Max and Greg both did it well. Josh as well. They the three of them together handled it the way that it was supposed to be handled, as per the comprehensive rule document. So it is unfortunate to see a game loss in the finals of a big tournament like this.
Sure.
But hey, it happens. Mistakes happen.
No, it does. Like I said, one thing that stinks about it is that it could have been an advantage for the player, and so they had to think about that as well. And so you got to think it may look like a disadvantage. I know a lot of people were talking to me about that after they're like, well, it stinks because he was life short. It's kind of like he was at a disadvantage, and it's like, no, not necessarily. If you can awaken a turn earlier, that's actually a big deal against some of these matchups. You take TN as a card, you actually just throw away a card so you can awaken faster. So setting up incorrectly could be a benefit. So they had to take that into account as well. Anyway, Max, I'll let you talk about it and then we'll move on.
So just to ask you, when all that was going down, I don't know, was there microphones for what was happening in finals? Because I don't know if what I was saying was actually broadcasted.
No, there was no microphones. We had no microphones.
Okay, gotcha. So obviously, it did take a long time for us to do that because there was two competing effects in play here. If you go by the actual floor guide, there is a section near the bottom for penalties, and it talks about incorrect number of cards, essentially. But what it's referring to, again, this is a nuance because of the language. It's referring to the fact that if you draw too many cards or you're just adding to extra cards in your hidden area, it's not really referencing the life area. And more so than that, it's more prevalent that there is a factual ruling to if it's really hard to continue with the game state in whatsoever way. It's like an irreparable game state, essentially. It's a game loss because for me to actually correctly fix that scenario, I would have to ask them what the card was, find the deck, find the card, put the card there, do all this nonsense. It would be a nightmare.
Right.
We didn't have time. It would take just as much time for me to do that as it was for me actually researching and making my decision on that. Because the reason why it took so long is this is like the first major event, something like this. So this is the precedent for things.
Right.
I can't change anything now from this. This is just how it is. This is the law. And beyond that, it was the finals. You made it this far here. This is this is the premier part of this whole tournament here. Everything's by the book. No one gets a slap on the wrist or something like that. And I explained that. And if you notice, anyone who's watching the players, you could see that the players both took it and understood it calmly. There was no confusion or upset. No one was upset.
Right.
They completely understood and they agreed with me. There was some online debacles that I had some fun reading when I was flying back home. But that was because they were not really appraised the situation. They probably didn't hear what I had to say. But honestly,
right.
I think it went over well. And yeah, it was just unfortunate to say the least. It was incredibly unfortunate.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, like I said, it was really cool to see the kind of the behind the scenes of it because I've never seen that before. So it was really neat to see judges figuring it out and going through the rules. And if you guys are familiar with law at all, essentially at that first regionals, they're creating case law. Once Max rules on something, that's essentially what will be used to essentially rule on other games that have similar situations pop up. So it's very important that they get it right. And they took plenty of time. They both researched it and they did this amazing job. It was awesome. Not awesome for the situation to happen, but it was really cool to see it happen. It was really cool to see him take it professionally and do a good job on it. All right, so another question. Here is a much more interesting question. What decks do you think will rise after the draft leaders become legal? Which decks do you think may fall? Jordan, what do you think?
I think that a few of the draft leaders are really strong, so I definitely think they're going to jump into the metagame. Vegeta, Frieza, Gotenks are all solid leaders. I'm not too sure what's going to fall out. I know that Cell is still really good. Vegeta's still good. And I think Ginyu is still good too. So it's going to be tough to see if anything falls out. I think we'll just add more diversity into the meta, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's going to make aggro a lot better. I think, almost all the leaders seem to be more geared towards aggro, which is good. I think aggro is struggling a little bit currently. I think the meta is kind of being taken over by mid-range decks. And so I think we need some more of those aggro decks. I mean, Nick did really good with a aggro deck, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But, you don't see very many aggro decks, kind of do real well, especially in these big tournaments, where exhaustion starts hitting and stuff. You have to pretty much have a god hand to win really fast with aggro, and best of 3 hurts that, and all the kind of controlling cards hurt that. Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Cell will still be probably one of the top leaders, and with the whole aggro thing, I feel like unlike other games, this game kind of doesn't reward you for being aggro. It's like unless you're critting somebody for aggro, you're just building up their hand, and unless you have the Cell chain to dump it, you're just giving them a lot of defensive cards. So
right.
It doesn't seem like aggro hasn't found its place quite yet, unless outside of Vegeta, I guess. But and then with the new leaders, I haven't looked, like I've seen them, but I don't know. None of them have actually really, like, when I see some posts on Facebook like, oh, this is going to be overpowered or this is going to be ridiculous, it's like I look at them, I'm just like, no, they're just like another good leader. I don't think they're going to be anything
right
meta breaking, but I still think Cell's flip side is just, I think, really, really good.
Yeah, no, he does. So he does so much. I mean, drawing 2 cards is insane. I mean, you just cycle so much in your deck.
Cycling your bad cards, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest strengths to Cell, and of course we'll get into it here in a second once you start talking about the meta, but I think that, being able to put situational cards in your deck, like main deck, and then cycle them if they're not good in that matchup is extremely powerful in this game. All right, Scotch, Max, do you guys want to say anything about the draft leaders?
Absolutely. I've got a lot to say about these. I
here
know
we go.
Scott's talking again, right? Okay, so I've extensively tested with several of the leaders from the draft set. By far, the best one is the Gotenks. Dang it, Max. The best one is the Gotenks. There's an argument that could be had about both the Vegeta and the Frieza. Honestly, I don't think the Frieza is playable. Personally, I don't think it's a playable card. Sure, it adds that added extra benefit of being able to use some of your extra cards, but it's the only good thing about that card is free Bloodlust and first turn objection. That is it. Other than that, it's just slow. You're gonna burn yourself down too quickly on your life, and then next thing you know, you've got 1 life left because you activated Cold Bloodlust 3 times. So it's one of those cards that I just don't see becoming prevalent. The blue Goku's bad. It's a bad card. Don't play with bad cards. Easier said than done, right? The Vegeta, there's an argument that can be said there. Yes, I do not see Cell going away. So the ability to pitch a card from your hand and leaving your life alone to give yourself critical is pretty good. On top of that, he gains 5k. So he's a 15k unawakened card, and when he awakens, he's 20k. He gains 5k again. So the argument for that is, sure, that card we might see a little bit of play. It's a red leader though. Now the Gotenks, my boy. All right, this isn't biased, I swear.
Hang on a second. What do you mean it's a red leader? You said it like that's a bad thing.
I mean, if you're not playing green, you're not winning right now, right?
Well,
That's how it works.
You don't have to. I mean, it doesn't matter what color your leader is, right?
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. Sure, sure, Dusty.
Okay,
But
I'm sorry. Continue. You talk about Gotenks.
So, I built a very strong anti-meta deck using Champa originally. It's tricolor Gotenks. The second I got that Gotenks leader, the deck shifts. It shifts a lot. It's a very passive aggressive deck. Okay, the ability to nuke a card out of your opponent's hand every turn is pretty solid because Gotenks as a whole, the Goten Trunkses, they're gonna eat your hand down low and keep you below your opponent. Plus, if they sell you, you're just kind of messed up there because you've already got your hand low. So using the sell play is kind of a waste at that point. You're not really getting any added benefit other than having a 30k card with double strike. So you're always going to have a slighter hand. Now, there is a big thing in this game that every single one of us loves to do. We don't like to let our opponents awaken, right?
Right.
You don't let Gotenks awaken, you just lose. Because literally, they're going to be attacking you or you're going to be attacking them with a 10k into their 15k leader, and you're not going to do damage. They're just going to eat a card. So it's a free discard if you don't awaken them. You see what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's like the 3-drop Gotenks.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's a 15k. We're swinging with a 10k leader into your 15k leader. It's just a free discard without taking damage.
Sure, but if you're awakened, right, it's a lot. You don't want
Yeah.
to take 15k, right? You know, because like, did you die? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's the same theory. Yeah, awesome.
But
Max, what do you think, buddy?
So I have kind of, I guess, polarized opinions here. I really like the Frieza leader. I think everyone likes the Frieza leader. He's the easiest one to gravitate to in the beginning. However, he is not autoplay. He is incredibly skill intensive. You have to learn how to use that ability properly. And obviously, you want to use it for things that are going to get you the most advantage, like a free Senzu Bean, a free Bloodlust, anything like that. Just like to make a surprising play to get the most advantage out of it. That's it. It's just going to see who's really good at using that and if aggro is too strong for him. Next, I really like Gotenks. Gotenks is insane. I really want to make a Christmas deck with him. However, Gotenks has no place in this world right now with Cell here. He does not hedge enough on Cell even early on. It's an annoyance at best. It doesn't do enough, even with them like TNing off really early. It's just they're going to have way too many cards. So he's on the back burner. Vegeta's insane. There's not really much more to recap on that.
Jeez, I think Vegeta's the best one out of the whole bunch. I'm surprised that some of you guys think he's so bad. I think he's so good. What do you think, Jordan? You got my back? Anybody got my back?
Yeah, I think Vegeta's actually really good. With all the low in hand theme with red,
Right.
like Vegeta saves the day, Gohan. I think all those cards are going to build a pretty good aggressive deck. Now I haven't sat down and built the deck yet, but I think that a blue-red or maybe a red-green could be really good with all of those cards, keeping a low hand size so Cell doesn't hurt you as much.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just pressure their leader a lot with critical, and they won't be able to get any cards to their hand.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that 5,000 boost on the front side is insane. I mean, it's really, really good. And then when once he flips, he gets a 20,000. I mean, that's I don't know. It just seems too good to pass up. Oh, Dan, I'm gonna let you have the last word. What do you think?
I actually do like. It's like when I was looking at the Gotenks, I kind of just felt it was just another type of Brawly leader, probably better than Brawly since you don't have to play the actual
ring.
That other card. But I don't know, Brawly kind of just, I felt like he was weak, or he's still kind of weak. So I feel like Gotenks is kind of, it's like if your opponent has more cards than you for you to get his ability off, well then it's, I don't know, just doesn't really feel like you're winning the game. So it's like it feels like it's a comeback mechanic where it's like they have more cards, so now you can use his effects to hopefully start dumping cards and hopefully get you back into the game. But for the most part, if I'm playing the game, I want to be ahead the whole time, like more cards, more life, more whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Vegeta does seem interesting, like Jordan was saying, the whole aspect of red, how it's like keeping your cards low so you can benefit off the effects of their like only having 4 cards or 3 cards. And then yeah, the Goku just kind of seems like whatever. And I actually when Max was talking about that Frieza, I started thinking like I actually do kind of like that Frieza. It's like I would never use its ability outside of like I wouldn't want to use the abilities for like on your opponent's turn if you want to use like a Senzu Bean or a counter, but it's like using somebody said it earlier where it's like I can use my cell absorption on 2. That sounds pretty sweet. Or I can use that kind of stuff for 2 energy, or like objection on turn 1. Like being able to use it on your turn and kind of like build an advantage off those cards. While it's like somebody in chat just said it's almost like a weaker version of Ginyu, but if I can, each turn take a life and get the effects of objection or cell absorption off early, I'm like, man, that sounds really nice to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I think Jordan said a couple times. I mean, I think a lot of people are trying to compare that Frieza to Ginyu, and I think that's a pretty bad way to do it. I think that you could build a Ginyu deck using Frieza, and I think you would be successful. But I think that's not what the leader's supposed to do. I think it's more of like a tempo card. It's going to be either a super powerful ramp leader or a really good like tempo leader that uses like Max was saying, like Senzu Beans and stuff to be able to put out more threats or protect itself when it normally wouldn't be able to. Okay, so next question says, questions for the judges. What happens when someone plays a card and 2 turn passes for someone to figure out the person didn't have the correct specified cost to play that card? So I believe what this person's trying to say is if someone plays a card out and then 2 turns passes out and you're like, hey, actually you couldn't play that card, what happens?
Scotch, that's you.
If there's 2 turns passed, there's nothing you can do about it. You give them a notice and you go on. Because if it's caught immediately, sure, it can be replayed. If it's not, you got to give them a warning. It's not a game loss. It's technically an irreparable game state, but once both players have accepted it, you go on.
Right.
You and Ginyu, Jordan. Now you're doing the Max thing where you just randomly put stuff up on screen.
Okay, so we have at KitchenTableMeta, not to give away anyone's secret tech, but I heard a lot of buzz about SS3 Goku Maximum Energy and Dash Pack Goku at Hartford. Can you swing with SS3 Goku, then evolve, giving Dash Pack Goku a fresh dual attack, or would he only have one attack left? Max,
On you, Max.
Scotch?
Sorry, let me scroll up and read that because, like, I heard the first half of that last sentence just threw me.
So they're evolving into maximum energy for the dual attack, and then no, dual attack won't carry over.
That's
It's not an added effect. It's a skill.
All right, so you swing on this and then evolve into a fresh dual attack. Well, if you swing with that Goku and you activate, if it has dual attack already, then it's ready there. Then yeah, you can evolve into the new dash one, and then you can attack. So it'll just be ready. But if it's dull, then it won't get dual attack and untap.
Yeah, the way the card works is it's got dual attack and it gains double strike. So no, dual attack's not carrying over.
Yeah, but he gets skills underneath it, or I'm sorry, other way around. He doesn't fast forward past his skills on to the next generation.
Okay. Eddie Money says, at KitchenTableMeta, don't worry, I'll make these guys Vegeta believers after ARG Orlando. You better, man. Can't believe everybody's wrecking me with the Vegeta. Man, I thought I had these guys on here for a reason. All right, guys. Let's talk a little bit about the meta. Here at at Hartford. Let's talk. We got all the questions out of the way. Let's talk a little bit about these.
Hold on, 1 sec. I'm gonna rattle what I just said. It does gain the dual attack off of the. It does gain dual attack off of its skill. It has double strike naturally. It gains dual attack off of effect. However, once you use the dual attack once, all a dual attack does is untap the card. At that point, dual attack has been erased. So no, the dual attack does not carry over.
Right.
I just had to look it up to verify.
Yeah, sure. All right, so we have Greg Cross kind of made some charts here, and I'm not going to pull them up on the stream, but I will go over them. And this is all of the decks that were played at regionals. So we're going to talk about this meta a little bit. And so we have there was 37 Ginyu decks and 37 Cell decks. So those it's funny to me that they were exactly the same. And then we had 25 Vegeta decks, 16 Soul Striker Goku. That's the starter Goku, the one that when it attacks it untaps a blue energy. And then after that, we had 14 Vegito decks and the same amount of Goku Black decks. So 14 for both Vegito and Goku Black. Then we had 13 Androids, 11 Champa, 9 Golden Frieza, 7 Beerus. Oh, boy, Beerus, what's up? 6 Trunks, 5 Galactic Emperor Frieza, 5 Zamasu, 4 Metacooler, 3 Promo Goku. That's the one that has double strike, or dual attack, I'm sorry. 2 Gohan, 1 Broly, 1 Chilled. 1 Chilled? Where my boy at?
Yeah, I saw that player playing Chilled, and he was actually doing pretty well early on.
That's awesome. That's sick. Yeah. 1 Demo Deck Goku. That's the green one, right? That's the green one. Just has double strike, right? Yeah. 1 Family Son Kamehameha Gohan, which is the new Gohan, set 2 Gohan. 1 Hits and 1 Vados. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I actually thought I'd see a lot of Ginyu. That's why I made my deck the way I did. But I was actually expecting to see more Goku Blacks, just because in playtesting, my one friend that was playing Goku Black, it was like, at least the way he was playing it was insane. He even during the event, he 2-0'd all the Ginyus, which was supposed to be his hardest match. And like he was just like, I was actually considering taking that deck, but because I've been playing my Cell deck for so long, and I'd rather play a deck where I'd make less misplays and not have to learn it like the night of. I was just more comfortable with the Cell, that's why I took it. But I really think this Goku Black, like, it felt like it was really underrepresented, like represented at this. Sorry, the Bobbity Black, not the actual like Goku Black stuff. But yeah, I think it's actually a really good deck that when you get somebody who can pilot it really well, I think they can easily take down one of these tournaments.
I'm really surprised to hear you say that because I know, and me and Jordan's testing a little bit. The Bobbity Black deck has been pretty weak. I mean, Jordan, what do you think?
I tested it out before the actually like couple like maybe a couple days for the tournament, just to try and get a feel for it, even if I'm not going to play the deck, just to play against it. And in testing it, was not consistent. I don't know if it was my build, but I basically was playing the same build that got popularized by, I think his name's Chris, but I was just playing that list, and it just seemed inconsistent to me. It seemed really weak against yellow decks.
Oh yes, I mean, especially with the crusher ball ruling, right? I mean, that's a huge.
That on top of it, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
I'm not sure how he did it, but yeah, he was killing like all the Ginyus, and I was quite surprised. But yeah, like it does actually, I don't know, the consistency of it. It feels like all he ever needed was, against my deck at least, was Bulma and Bobby, and like I was done. I couldn't withstand Bobbity after Bobbity after Bobbity, but I guess against yellow he played it like his sideboard and stuff like that. He played it a lot differently, and I don't know, he just seemed to be wrecking face with it.
Yeah, I mean, because you have other threats, right? You have Jiren too, which is actually pretty annoying for Ginyu to play against. You also have just the Ghost Attack Gotenks as well. I mean, all those cards are good against Ginyu, but it just surprises me. I don't know. What do you think, Max? From the Goku Black matchup, did you get to watch any of those games? Are you familiar with that matchup?
I didn't actually watch any Goku Black the whole weekend except for on Sunday. I was sitting down just talking to Jordan before he was leaving. He was playing one of the Hill Twins, and honestly, I was kind of expecting a lot more Goku Black myself, because even though like the perceived meta was like, hey, everyone, let's play Ginyu, and there's like the Vegeta lurkers. Obviously, Cell was like the thing you had to play to try and just feed on Ginyu.
Right.
But anyone who could see 3 steps ahead could see that Goku Black is an interesting play for that Cell matchup. It's kind of weird against Ginyu though, but you got to go with the flow sometimes.
No, I mean, I know.
Honestly though.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was to say, honestly though, I think Bobbity is just like something everyone's like, oh my god, there's a Bobbity card, and we know what it does. But like Bobbity is incredibly inconsistent. Sometimes he's just going to go nuts. Sometimes he's not. Like I played someone the other day, and like they were all but dead, and they Bobbitied me, and like I was like, I don't really care. There's no way I can lose here. And he popped 2 Gohan SRs from set 2, and I was like, well, I just lost.
Cool. That was fun. Good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know, I did a video before the event, and it's like the top 5 decks to expect, and Goku Black was my number 4. So I mean, I didn't expect it to win the event, but I expected it to have more than 14 people playing the deck. I'll tell you that. I mean, for sure, 100%. All right, Scotch, take us home. What did you think of Goku Black?
It's very inconsistent. It takes too much time to ramp up to how much energy they need in order to pull off everything they need to win. And at that point, Cell, Vegeta, they're already awakened. They're already, pinging you for some big damage. Any aggro deck is going to beat it. Personally, I have a terrible matchup against it whenever I play for some reason. It's like my kryptonite. I can't beat it. I can't beat it no matter what I do. And I'm super aggro, but I got to watch a couple of games, not for long, but I was in time with one of them, and they were the last match, and I watched the guy bring out 2 Ghost Attack Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or Gotenkses, and then bring out 6 tokens, and he had 3 cards in hand, and his opponent just looks up at him and goes, yeah, you got it, dude.
Yeah, there's what I could do. I mean, unless you have Sensu Bean, right? I mean, that's like, the only hope you have,
Yeah.
For sure. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Cell, guys. I mean, I know, Danny, you played it. Jordan, you played the other deck. I mean, do you guys think Cell is the meta? I mean, it ended up winning the format, but do you guys think it's unbeatable? You think it's the best deck? OP, I know a lot of people are screaming OP. I hate that word. What do you guys think?
I actually love the Cell Leader because there's a bunch of different ways you can play Cell. Like the deck from Cell to Cell can be completely different. How people build it. The Cell Leader, I think itself is super OP. That's why you can play it in any other deck with any other cards, I guess. Like my version compared to the actual Cell chain or whatever. My friends were playing a mid-ranged one without the whole Brawly engine and stuff like that, and it just seems like it's just having Cell and then whatever you put with him is just really good.
Yeah, I mean, no, we've seen a bunch of different versions. We've seen the hand destruction, which I know you played there. We've seen the Cell combo version, which is the go-to version. We've seen just the full-on blue-green control version where you just run a bunch of removal cards. You just keep removing cards. It's almost plays kind of like Ginyu does, except it doesn't have Cold Bloodlust. but it can remove like multiple threats a turn with Cell's ability plus removal cards. We've even seen like the more mid-rangey versions, which was the blue-green one that won the event. I mean, it was really cool to see that deck play because they just played it a lot more aggressive than I expected Cell to play. And so, yeah, I mean, you said it's like 4 or 5 different versions already, and that's just, like scratching the surface. What do you think, Jordan?
I think Cell is like, I mean, it's really good, obviously. I just don't really like its Ginyu matchup, to be honest. I think when I'm playing Ginyu against a Cell, that's like the matchup I want to play.
Sure.
I know that if they get a turn 2 TN, it is going to be a long game. However, I think that that's why you play stuff to like counteract that. There's different ways to stop that.
Yeah, Jocko's a big one.
But the card that he played, Danny played, that really hurts, I think, is Results of Training. If more Cells start playing Results of Training, keeping their life up to turn 5 and just awakening on turn 5, I think that could shift the way that matchup works. But against the normal TN version of Cell, I think Ginyu's heavily favored. And but I think they're both the top decks still. I still don't think Ginyu's like gone. I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Ginyu's dead." I don't think. I think it's still the best Cold Bloodlust leader. So it's gonna be somewhere in the meta.
Right, I mean,
because it's the only thing that can do that.
No, for sure. I mean, he can awaken himself. He can play all the best cards. I mean, I agree. I still think Ginyu's the best deck. If I had to make a list of the best decks right now, Ginyu would be number 1. I mean, without a doubt. What do you think, Scotch? Do you agree with me, or do you think there's a new king in town? Do you think Cell's coming in, Big Daddy Cell?
So the way that I look at a meta is you take whatever the best card is in a deck, and if you take that card out of the deck, is that still a very good deck? And the answer is yes. Right now, the 7-drop Cell is by far one of the best, if not the best card in this game. However, by itself, it's a fair card. The thing that makes that unfair is the fact that you can, on turn 3, get it out. So,
okay.
Other than that, like, if you kind of just... If for some reason Bandai goes, hey, we're going to make this 5-drop Imperfect Cell, make it so that it can only search 25k or less cells. Immediately, the deck will still be really, really good. It's just you won't have that combo anymore. That's what makes me see that, Cell is still going to be a solid deck. As for the rest of the meta, Vegeta's always going to have a place. Vegeta, like, I hate Vegeta as a leader. I think it's a terrible card, even though everybody loves it. It was that card that everybody played because it was, like, one of the first leaders everybody got. Like, I know it was one of the first leaders I pulled.
Are you talking about the blue Vegeta right now?
Yeah, the bad card blue Vegeta.
Oh my gosh, this is definitely your last Supercast. Go ahead.
No, so I don't think that Vegeta does enough. If you look at other leaders like Frieza, pop, untap, draw is very solid. You look at Champa giving anything double strike. What does Vegeta have? It burns itself for 1, gets critical. On its awakened side, if you have 7 or more energy, it gets plus 10k. Like, yeah, it's solid, but it's not phenomenal. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it only gets critical and awakens himself. Yeah. Sure.
Look at the Cell leader. Compare it to the Cell leader.
Right.
Compare it to the Cell leader. The Cell leader does a lot more.
Well, yeah, when it's awakened, but it can't do. I mean, it can't awaken.
It pops a 3-drop on its unawakened side.
Okay.
3 or less pop.
Okay. Name me 3 good 3-drops that is see play currently in the game. Go.
Green Gotenks, Vegeta, Assailant Vegeta, and 3-drop Cell.
Okay, but the 3-drop Cell doesn't stay out to kill it, right? You play out the Cell, then you evolve and keep going.
Okay.
Like no one goes, I'll play out my 3-drop Cell, pass. Like, please kill it, Cell, right?
The promo Gohan. Promo Gohan.
Okay.
Red 3-drop promo Gohan.
You're saying, promo Gohan. Okay.
Promo Gohan.
Sure. I don't know. I don't think Cell's front side's that scary to me. I think Cell's awakened side is what scares me. Scares the bejesus out of me. When I see him awaken, I'm like, here we go. This is gonna suck.
But as for the rest of the meta, Ginyu's always gonna have a place as long as Bloodlust is a card. Whether or not we see Ginyu get overtaken by the new Frieza leader is the question. Now, with these draft pack leaders coming out, the question at hand is what card is gonna step up and become a meta force. So, generally, in my experience, there's been like maybe 3 or 4 decks that stay meta. Other than that, everything is considered tier 2. I think we're going to see the Gotenks move up to meta, just because it is a Broly card, but better than Broly. So the constant pressure you can put out, comboing off with, the the ability to eat your hand down low, making it so Cell's effect isn't as detrimental against you.
Sure.
Partnering with green 5-drop Gotenks is phenomenal. Red 5-drop Gotenks is phenomenal. You can splash in just about anything, and it's just really consistent. I think that's going to hopefully have a place in the meta, because if not, the meta's going to start getting stale pretty quick. If you just see Gotenks, or if you just see, Cell, Vegeta, Ginyu all the time, the meta will eventually get a little stale. But it all depends, because once set 3 comes around in March, we get a whole new different meta. So the question is, what's the longevity of Cell? If Cell can hold on and be the top deck for a long time, or if it's just going to slowly fizzle out like a fire being capped, Right. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think it's a good opinion. I don't agree with Cell. I mean, with Vegeta, but no, I mean, so let me ask you guys this: do you guys think TN or results or training? Danny, I know you ran both.
Why it's really big, just matchup specific. That's why I ran both. There's times where I think, like, against Vegeta, I would much prefer getting TN because results is way too slow, and then against the Cell chain leaders, I'd rather play results, so I don't, because if I TN like on turn 2, I build my hand and they just dump it right away. So if I can just objection into and wait for my results, I'll be sitting at 3 cards, and then I awaken at 8 life, and by the time like they would want to sell me, there's nothing for me to really sell, and I can start chipping away at their, and especially if they TN'd early, then I can just start chipping away at their life when I hit my 4/5 energy and stuff like that. So I think there's definitely merit to playing both. I liked my 3/3, and then I always sided in 4/2 or whatever felt better, because there's games where it's like, if you don't draw your awakening card, or if you can't awaken on your own, it's like an auto loss. You can just lose if you can't find those cards. So having having 6 copies of different things to help you awaken, I felt just made it so I didn't auto lose any game.
Right. I'll say this. I mean, I think, as far as the combination goes, I like results a lot. I've always liked results. I think it's a great card. But I like TN as well. I like that TN has a good counter. I've seen a lot of players in the tournament on stream get blown out by Jocko. I know one player literally tried to play him 3 turns in a row. He was playing against Anthony, and he was just like, turn 2, TN. It was like Jocko, and then turn 3, he's like combo TN. It's like Jocko. And turn 3, he was just like, Jocko? I mean, like, TN? And he's like, yeah, Jocko. It was just like, no. So, I mean, I love that. I love that interaction. I think it's a cool interaction. I think that, it's a card that anybody can play too. I mean, Jocko splashing on any caller. So I like that TN has a good out. But what do you think, Jordan? Which one do you prefer, results or TN? I know this is something that me and you talk about a lot.
Yeah, I prefer results, to be honest. I will say it is matchup dependent, but I don't know, my play style, just the way I play the game, I prefer results, because while it is a few turns later, it lets you save your life total. You can preserve your life, which makes you be able to play the late game a lot more. Mm-hmm. And Cell's Awaken side is just really good for the late game. So I think by playing results, you give yourself more time in the late game to just drag the game out, and win through controlling your opponent. However, TN is definitely much faster. You get to awaken right away. You get to start cycling cards, building up a hand early. But like Danny said, you can't really TN against a mirror match Cell, because then they can drop you really low, and that can just kind of end the game essentially. So you got to be careful with that, and that's why I think results right now is just better positioned in the format.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen a lot of players make the good play I talked about a lot while I was casting, which is, if you know someone's running TN or you expect someone running TN, you just attack them once. Knock them to 7, and if they TN, they have to TN to 3 life. And that's a big deal. I mean, it's really cool. I've seen a lot of players make that play, and it was really cool to see that. Now, I think TN's a terrible card. I've said that during my card reviews. I still think it's a bad card. I think he does nothing for you once he awakens you, and then even when he does awaken you, it's at a huge cost. What do you think, Max? You think it's a bad card? Think it's a good card?
I actually really like TN, but I think again, it kind of comes down to how to use it. I mean, I think depending on the matchup, you can sometimes just definitely go all in and just like turn 2, just TN, go to and flip and awaken your leader. But I mean, whenever you have like the long grindy game and like you're not doing that, and you actually just like wait till a turn where there's like actually a clogged up board state, and you actually just play TN there and then just pop something, that's massive advantage. Because then you're still gonna flip, you're still gonna vault, you're still gonna do everything else, and you get the normal use of that TN. Just TN on his whole by himself is just But I mean, also like TN has uses outside of just Cell. I mean, you can just play TN in like other decks that are green that are just trying to do weird control-y things like that can't self-awaken, and you have the ability to interact with threats. I mean, that's obviously not the best because we know what the meta is, but it's something that can be done.
Right. Definitely, definitely. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about some of the meta here. We have Ginyu, Cell, Vegeta. That's the top 3. We have Soul Striker Goku, which if I was going to play at the regionals, that's a deck I was going to bring. I was going to bring blue-green Soul Striker Goku. I think it's well positioned in the meta. I like it. I like its matchup against Ginyu. I like its matchup against Cell. I love its matchup against Vegeta too. I mean, I love its ability to put multiple threats out, and all of its cards are good. I mean, it's a deck that can run Kel, so I'm on board. Now, one deck I was really surprised with, I think, is I'm surprised no one's been talking about it, but I actually think it's better than Ginyu. I think, like, honestly, it's probably the best deck in the format right now. With me talking about more is Androids. I thought Androids was super surprising. Every time I saw that deck play, I was like, holy crap. I mean, Waking at 6 is a big deal. We knew it was going to be a big deal. And I feel like it plays that Cell combo, but it has a late game plan if it doesn't get the Cell combo to go off. Like, just the fact it makes all of its combo pieces plus 5,000 power is a big deal. I mean, what do you guys think? Could you guys get play against any Cell decks? I'm sorry, any Android decks?
I played against a couple of I think 2 or 3 of them. One of them was actually one of my friends that I went down with. He ended up going 6-2 with the deck, and I beat him in, I think, round 3 or 4. But the only reason I didn't like that deck was because it didn't really have kill, like, if I played something and it's stuck on board, like my 5-drop Gotenks, it's on board for basically the whole game. Like, they don't really have any removal outside of evolving to that Union Absorb thing, like the 5-drop.
The 5-drop Cell.
Yeah, and like it is kind of annoying when they start putting out, you know, a 2-drop 15k or 20k that can, you know, attack and then untap and attack. But
Sure.
but the way my deck worked was if they were doing things like that to discard cards in the hand to untap, or if they're playing a bunch of cards that aren't netting them a card back in their hand, my deck kind of just destroyed it because I made all of them like top deck by turn like 4 or 5. And but outside of that, I think it does have a, like, against Ginyu. For Ginyu it's hard to deal because you don't want to, the cold ballasting their 2-drop 20k or crusher balling that stuff. It's not really, you're not really getting too much value out of that.
Sure.
And when they, like you said, when they can play multiple threats, that's where Ginyu kind of falls behind because they can't cold ballast everything. But yeah, I do like the deck. It just felt weak against my particular deck.
How about you, Jordan? I mean, do you think that Ginyu has a good matchup against Androids, or were you that scared about him, or what did you think?
I think that Androids could be a problem if they get set up, but the problem they have is I feel like they don't generate enough card advantage. Like Danny was saying, like especially versus hand destruction, that's really going to hurt them.
Sure.
But I played one round 8. It was the last round I played, and basically they just could not awaken. I know they the guy I played tried to TN on turn 2, and you know I did this play where I just cold bloodlusted their TN because I think they played one in energy, and then on my turn I attacked and Sun Goten'd it,
Sure.
killing it, and then he literally could not awaken the whole game, and he had no cards in hand, so I basically just won that by like just passing pretty much.
Sure. Just off
Couldn't do
attrition.
anything.
Sure.
And like game 2 was a lot closer, but the same thing kind of happened. Like he awakened early, but he couldn't get any cards in hand, so I was just sitting there with like a bunch of cards in my hand, and I wasn't really too worried. Sun Goten actually helped that matchup so much, and I main decked that card. He tried to like stall me with Android 17, and on my turn I just attacked and killed it. You know, there's some crucial cards in the matchup that could swing it in their favor, but I still think Ginyu's favored.
Awesome. Max, you look like you're having a great time down there, buddy. What do you think about Androids?
Honestly, I kind of like them a lot. I mean, I like especially the way their motif works with the cards. I mean, it's just a different version of the Cell deck, but
Right.
like someone was saying in the chat, though, I mean, it's really not positioned for the meta right now, at least, especially after Hartford. It's just a Cell deck that doesn't have all the efficiency of Cell. Like,
So you don't think so? So you think it's a worse Cell deck? Like you think it
I think it's
it
a worse
loses
Cell
the
deck in
Cell?
the fact that it just doesn't. I mean, you have more power with your cards essentially, but you don't have all the drawing your cards. Like, this game doesn't have inherent suite effects that do things. Like in set 1, your best 2-for-1s and things were just drawing cards and doing stuff like that.
Right.
Cell just draws infinite cards. He just filters your deck. You build the best possible hand. You just kill someone. I mean, like Jordan said, you just literally hand lock them at any point ever, and they're out of the game. Like, they don't have an inherent way to kind of feed themselves cards, and that's just like the crucial difference. So it's not a bad deck. It's just like right now we're in the world of like, do you have more cards than me? Yes or no? And they are checking no on that every time.
Okay. Scotch, what do you think, buddy?
So during the main event, I felt like I was getting called to an Android matchup every single round.
Okay.
There was one thing that kept happening. So I'm gonna build the board for you. Okay. They have an Android 17 on the board, and they don't have an Android 18. They attack with the Android 17. All right. The effect will automatically trigger. All right. The skill automatically triggers. There's no target. It fizzles. It's a once per turn skill. It can't be used again. All right. Then they drop an 18, swing with the 18, untap the 17, and then when they swing with the 17, they consistently are trying to untap that 18 again. Doesn't work like that. So like every round, I felt like I was going to an Android matchup and saying the exact same ruling.
Wow.
So once per turn auto effects activate once per turn on the first attack. So that's how I feel about Androids. I feel like it's a little bit of, I don't want to say it, but it felt like they were trying to get an advantage by doing that, because I almost felt like I clearly could have gone to more than one time to the same person, but I was bouncing all around, and it was just all the Android players. Like every round, I was seeing a different Android player and saying the exact same thing. Eventually, by round 4 or 5, it started, getting a little bit better. But Androids don't have, without the cell, I think they're a little lackluster. The only thing that they really have going for them is that promo 17 being able to make it so your opponent doesn't draw when they awaken.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair. I'm surprised. I actually think that Androids are a lot better than you guys. I think Danny is with me, but yeah, I actually think they're pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they have a bad cell matchup at all. I mean, I think one of the top 8 matchups was cell versus Androids, and honestly, I think Android made a pretty bad play mistake, or they were going to easily win that game. I'll see. There's 2 play mistakes I'll see people doing a lot in the cell mirrors or the Android mirrors. Is they'll play their cell first, which seems wrong to me. I think you want your opponent to play their cell first, so that way you can combo into yours and kill theirs, and then have a cell up on them. And I've seen a lot of people do that. And second thing, I've seen a lot of people make a play mistake just in general against the cell matchup. Is if your opponent hasn't played the cell that makes you discard down to 3, don't awaken. I mean, what do you think, Jordan? I mean, I know you play Ginyu. I mean, if you're Ginyu and you have tons of cards in hand, you don't have a cold bloodlust. I mean, do you just not awaken? Do you just wait for them to discard you so you get your 2 cards back? I've seen so many people just be like awaken, pass, and then they'll just be like sell, go down to 3. I mean, what do you think?
It's tough to say. I mean, I never was in that type of position where I was playing against this cell player and didn't have the bloodlust. But if I did, I don't know. I don't know how I would approach that situation, because sometimes they may not go all in on the combo if you're playing Ginyu, and you could fake that you have it, leave a yellow up, and because they don't want to throw all those cards into doing nothing. So I mean, it really depends. It really depends. You kind of gotta play the think whether it'll happen or not. But I don't know. I'd probably just awaken. I don't know. I know I did it before, playing a test game with one of my friends, and they actually did end up having cell, drop me down to 3 cards, and I still ended up being able to pull it out somehow.
Sure. Well, you never know. Maybe you draw the cold bloodlust, right?
Exactly.
All right. So we'll go over the breakdown of the top 16 decks. So I think it's really important when you look at the meta that you always look at the top 16 decks. I know a lot of people make a lot of mistakes where they'll see what deck won the event and they'll go, that's the best deck. That's not always true, right? Things happen. Sometimes players make play mistakes. Sometimes, so I always like to look at the whole top 16. And to me, those are probably the best decks in the format, or pretty close to it. And so we have 7 cells in the top 16. Again, thank you for Greg Cross for making these charts. So 7 cells and top 16, which is pretty ridiculous. That's almost half of the top 16. Then we have 3 Vegeta, 2 Ginyu, 2 Androids, 1 Soul Striker Goku, 1 Goku Black. What do you guys think of that?
I like that Soul Striker. I was actually going to take Soul Striker to this tournament, but I ended up making one for my friend to play. And Calvin, he did really good with it. I think at one point he was 5-1, and I think he ended up dropping his last 2, unfortunately. But outside of that, he was he didn't get too much. Actually, he didn't get as much practice in as I did with the deck, but just for taking it to the regionals just like that, he did pretty well. It was pretty sweet to see him do well with that deck, and it's still my favorite leader, the Soul Striker.
Oh, me too. I love that deck. And also that Goku's only going to get better and better as the,
as more cards come. Yeah.
I actually don't think Ginyu's going to get much better. I think that they're going to not print that many cards that's good for yellow because of Ginyu. Like I think that that's something that's on the radar. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I mean, if I was them, at least I would say, hey, we can't print too many more good yellow cards, or we might give Ginyu a huge push. But I mean, honestly, the way Ginyu plays, I mean, honestly, you could say the same thing of blue and green too, I guess. So, yeah, that's incorrect. All right, Max, what do you think about this top 16? I mean, you were there. You're the head judge in the house. What do you think?
So actually, I'm going to spin on for this to something a little different. I'm going to share with you some info that Bandai shared with me, because I actually spoke with them and we were talking about actually the card game as it stands currently. Their current evaluation of us as Americans and our meta and the cards we're playing is we are very chained to. Okay, they didn't specify a card with this. Like it was very ambiguous. They said to me that they believe we are inhibiting ourselves, and they kind of tend to very underrated cards, just incredibly overrated cards, rather. And I 100% know he means Cold Bloodlust with that, because that's what everyone talks about. And we also talked about leaders after that, because they were also very concerned that people were still playing Ginyu. They found it mind-boggling. Like, I'm not kidding you. They had to they made a very poor analogy, because the idioms and like things like that don't really translate well. And they were like, we expected a lot more Cell for this tournament, is what we said. I was like, well, yeah, I mean, Cell was clearly the play. I mean, we talked about that, things like that. But I mean, honestly, this top 16 kind of played out about what I thought would be. This
looks normal.
Exactly. I mean, even the matchups like went down the line. I mean, the only thing that was very interesting to me is that the 16 to 15 seed just rode out the bracket as hard as they did. That was really cool.
Right. Yeah, I'm really surprised we didn't see like a Zamasu sneak in. That's like the only. I think time really hurt Zamasu decks in this, but I mean, like to me, I think Zamasu is pretty good in the meta. I mean, it's pretty decent to get Cell. You're at a pretty low card number anyway, so the Cell card doesn't matter too much. You have a 4-drop answer to it. You have a Mafubo on turn 2 if you need to. You have a really good late game. All your threats are indestructible. I don't know, it seems like it has a really good matchup against Cell to me, but it does struggle a little bit against Ginyu. I know me and Jordan played a couple test games. He crushed me every game. Wasn't even close. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe the Ginyu's knocked out the Zamasus. Maybe time did. Maybe the Draws is the one that knocked them out. I'm not sure, but I know that I really expected to see like one Zamasu at least make it in.
Yeah, my one friend, he basically got killed by time. He was the one playing that, and I think he got 4 draws throughout the tournament. And he said, like, the deck was good, he just couldn't finish game 3s, or he couldn't finish complete games. Yeah,
because the problem is also it's similar to Cell in the fact where Cell's pretty, well, at least a lot of the decks we saw were pretty reliant on the Cell combo. And with Zamasu, it's the same thing. Like, you're pretty reliant on getting, like, your Zamasu and Goku Blackout so you can evolve on 7. And all that. It's almost like a combo control deck in a way. And sometimes you just don't get the cards. Like, I know one game I played with Jordan, both of my 10-drop Zamasus were at the bottom of my deck. And I was just like, well, I guess I'll lose. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, so, I mean, you have those games where sometimes you just lose game 1. And like you said, it's impossible to win game 2 and 3 at that point. I mean, most of the time. So. Right, how about you, Jordan? Anything you that surprised you with the top 16? Anything you thought would be different?
I just want to like touch with the blue-green Soul Striker Goku. The guy that played it is David Pena, and if you don't know him, he actually got 2nd place at Worlds 2015 for Panini Dragon Ball Z. So he's a really good player. Just wanted to shout him out. His deck looked awesome, and but the decks that I was surprised that topped were actually the androids, to be honest. I had no real testing versus the androids. Mostly just played against Cell because I thought Cell was going to be. I know it was very prevalent, but I thought it was going to be more prevalent. But 2 of them topping, I think they were both red-green variants.
Yeah,
I think both of them were red-green.
Yeah, I think there was 4 of them. And they all played the same deck. They actually came up to me after day 1, and they're like, "Hey, dude, like I see your channel," and they told me about their decks and stuff. And yeah, it was. I mean, anytime you could put 2 players from the same group in the top 16, you're doing something right? Like there's something good going on there. And I didn't get a chance to like really look at their deck. I haven't got a chance to look at almost any of the deck lists at all. But yeah, I mean, the decks look sweet. I mean, it has androids. I think they're really underrated right now, and I think they run like Kaba in there. They run like a way more aggressive version of androids, which is really neat. I mean, because you think if you attack with 2 Kabas, you're awakened. That's a pretty big deal. But I guess you've probably awakened your opponent too, so that could be a bad thing too. So I'm not really sure how that matchup works out. But
actually, that's what I found with like my one friend that was playing that. It's a lot of people would like you'll attack the androids for just to put them to 7 to give them an awkward awakening with their TN, but then they just Kaba you, and then it's like, oh, never mind. And then it's like a nice surprise. Yeah. And like he did, like my one friend was playing that probably similar build to that, and he ended up going 6-2, just like barely making it, like not making a top cut. But yeah, I think they are good. Just not that's my particular deck.
That's cool. Scotch, haven't heard from you in a while, but you're quiet down there.
I've been thinking this whole time. Honestly, the meta was. Or not the meta, the top 16 was pretty much what I expected it to be. You were going to have a heavier cell than anything. You were going to have some Vegeta, and then you're going to have, Ginyu and then Rogue. So that was my expectation going in, and I was pretty close. So it's like I didn't expect to see Zamasu in the top. I didn't expect to see really anything other than Cell and Vegeta, to be honest. So it was what it was. Just looking at how the tournament was going throughout the day, you could make, by like round 4 or 5, you could make an accurate assessment of what it was kind of starting to shape out to be. So I wasn't too surprised, except for when I saw that Soul Strike Goku in there. I was like, what? Okay, I guess. That card's underrated. It's extremely underrated.
Oh, it's so good.
Nobody down here in Orlando plays that card. So when I saw it, it like made me stop. Just like when I saw Kaba get thrown out of a Cell deck, it stopped me for a second. I was like, wait, is that a Kaba? Hello? Can I help you? Like, and then the guy won that game that I had stopped at. I was like, oh, okay, I guess.
All right, guys, so we're gonna get out of here in just a little bit, guys. We've had these guys for about an hour and 20 minutes. I know everyone's tired; it's getting late. But go ahead and put at KitchenTableMeta if you have any questions for him, because we'll answer questions as long as we can. I only have a couple more things for him. Like I said, this has been amazing, guys. But before we even get any further, thank you guys so much for being here. This is awesome. I love having you guys on here, except Scotch, and it's been a blast.
You love me. Don't even.
You're a pretty cool guy, I guess. So let's go through.
That.
Yeah, we go through some of these questions here. At KitchenTableMeta, your buddy who played the BR, I guess this is directed at Jordan. Your buddy who played the BR Vegeta deck. What was your mindset when you made it? Absolute aggro towards Sinew and Ginyu? Question mark.
Yes, actually, that kind of dictated some of the card choices in my deck, because I really actually thought that more people would be playing Blue-Red Vegeta, and maybe I was just tunnel visioning, because literally everybody that I came with was playing it, like all 4 players, and then even Chris played it as well.
Yeah, Chris loved the deck. I mean, he loved it.
Yeah, it's a really good deck, and it really is really good versus Ginyu. So that's why I teched my deck a little bit against it, because it was getting kind of frustrating playing against it. I'm like, should I even play Ginyu if there's going to be a lot of this deck? But I went with Ginyu just because I was like, well, there's probably not going to be too many, we'll do that. And he was really the only one that top cut with it. But the deck basically is just to pressure these control decks really fast and try and beat them by turn 3 or 4 at the latest. And I know his Swiss record was 7-0-1, so he was first seed going to top cut. He had a really good day 1. And then day 2, I know he played against one of the androids, and I actually think androids has a good matchup versus that because it awakens so early.
Yeah, actually, I think what happened to Nick, I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but I had I think Chris told me a little bit about what happened in that match, and I think Nick did the play I was talking to you about, where he was afraid of Cell. And so he could awaken, but he was like, I don't want to awaken in case he plays Cell. So he didn't awaken, and his opponent was like Chilling Terror Android. And so he was like, oh, crap. And he didn't have a way to remove it. Gotcha. And so he couldn't, so he really couldn't awaken. It was kind of a crappy spot. So it's like he played around one thing, got caught by something else, I guess.
By the other thing,
right, yeah, exactly. So, which I think is how he lost game 3 of that matchup. So. So actually, Max, I have a question for you. We kind of you told it. It was an awesome question. It was awesome. And we just kind of ignored it. I'm sorry. We talked about Bandai being surprised about what everyone's playing here in America. I mean, what do you guys think about that? It's a big deal. I mean, do you guys think that's
exclusive info, world first?
Yeah, I know it's like world first right here. We're just like, cute, Max, shut up. Keep playing with your cats, nerd. We're going over here talking about Cell for another 20 minutes. So what do you guys think about that? About Bandai being confused? Well, we're confused, but surprised at what we're playing. I mean, do you think that they're right? Do you think Ginyu is not as good as what we think it is here?
I mean, Japanese meta is always very different in every game I've ever played, so it doesn't surprise me. I know, I hate to bring it back to Vanguard again, but in Vanguard, they play a lot of vanillas in their decks, per se. So, for example, the meta is very, 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 very different. And I can understand that, Bandai's had many other card games before. They kind of get a grasp on what players are going to do. And for us to be able to surprise them like we did, I think it's kind of cool. Maybe we'll get some support for yellow now because they're like, oh, they're playing yellow. We need more yellow. So who knows? Who knows? I think it's cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah, Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, I was actually surprised to see as many. Well, actually, I wasn't surprised to see as many good news as there was. I don't know. At least in my area, and the decks that are being played.
Here comes Danny. Like, really, I agree. Yes, I am.
Ginyu just feels really weak at least in my area. So I was surprised to see so many. I was happy to see as many as I did, because I really wanted to avoid any of these red aggro decks. Like, I do okay against them. Just I'd rather not play that game. And playing grindy matches against Ginyus, it just felt like my deck just did well against it. But yeah, I think Ginyu will slowly... Actually, I don't know. Cold Ballas will just always be a thing, so maybe Ginyu will just stick around. But I don't think it'll be as good as it was in set 1. Once more cards come out, I don't think it'll get any better, in my opinion.
That's good, Jordan. I mean, I feel like the entire country of Japan just took a shot at you, buddy. What do you?
Well, I actually did introduce myself to them and their translator and stuff, and I was just trying to talk to them. And I actually didn't hear it, but I think Chris was standing right beside me, and he said like the question they asked was basically just basically taking a shot at me as well. something about the time in the round, like how are draws for your Ginyu deck, and I'm just like,
like how's that working out for you, nerd?
Like, well,
we got 3 of them right now. Let's see if we can get some more.
I was like, nice to meet you. I gotta go back to playing.
Thank you. My name is Jordan, by the way. It's very nice hanging out with you. Cool. How's the draws working out for you, nerd? That's
literally what they said. So I was like, well, okay. But awesome. No, I think Ginyu's still good. I definitely agree with what Danny said. I don't think it's really going to get any better, unless some of the other cards like the green getting Kale and Gohan, help the deck. But those cards are going to go in every other green deck, so it's not going to be any different. So I do think that the only way for the Ginyu deck to get any better is for them to make another card like Bloodlust, I guess, in a sense, like give them more cheap spells to play. On the defense, that could really help the deck out, or maybe a better removal spell in yellow, maybe. But other than that, I don't think the deck's going to get that much better. I just think that in the metagame, with Cell being such a dominant card, the 7-drop Cell, that most people are playing, that Cold Ballas will stick around. And I think if their Cell deck is built on that chain, or just that Cell in general, I think it's pretty weak to Ginyu. But I do think, Danny, your deck is actually probably favored just because of the hand destruction is kind of tough. And you I don't think you played Cell in your main deck?
Yeah, I have the Cell in my side deck, but I never had to side it in.
Did you just play like just the 7-drop, or did you just not play it at all?
I didn't play the 7-drop. I didn't play it at all.
Okay.
Well, like it was in my side deck, but I never played it.
Never made it. All right, Max. So, do you agree with when you heard that? Were you like, yeah, it sounds about right? Like, I hate Ginyu. Ginyu sucks. Or did you?
I actually snap agreed with them. I guess I was like, all I do is read the super community group every day.
Right.
So that was more the basis of where I was like, oh yeah, you're 100% right. But like they were more so surprised that like their concern with the Ginyu comment was not that like they thought Ginyu was bad, is that just that people weren't like trying new things. It's kind of like like they're trying to force a power creep, of course, by making things like Cell and things like that. But if everyone just sticks to Ginyu, then they can't play and make cards because the meta they're trying to make and like what they're planning on, you guys are literally just like cutting down trees and going through a different path altogether.
Right. Sure.
So then that's kind of their perspective on it. I mean, I think Ginyu is good, but I think Ginyu gets like I just think it just slowly phases out. I think as more cards come in, Ginyu loses power, or just like to some degree, just because it's they're just gonna find new ways to do more intuitive things to just go over Ginyu.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean I think the best thing they can do to make Ginyu worse is to make dual color decks better and mono decks better. That way it's a real risk to run 3 colors. Right now it's not really that big of a risk to run 3 colors. And I think until they find a way to make the inconsistency of running 3 colors something. For example, if we had more cards like the Goku Black, the 8-drop Goku Black or whatever, that can destroy energy, then I think that's how you hurt Ginyu. If you don't want Ginyu to be in the deck, I mean in the format, you just put in like cards that let you tap, energy. Like you make a guy that comes in, taps a yellow or whatever, and tap at energy, so that way you can get them off that bloodlust. You make them have to run 2 yellow, and then that makes the deck a lot worse because now they can't run the better green cards and the better blue cards. They have to choose, to cut one of those things. Because right now they can splash yellow, which we already talked about. We thought was a weaker color, and that's fine. They splash yellow, and then they run the 2 strongest colors, in my opinion. And so until you can punish them for that, I mean, it's always going to be a deck, in my opinion.
All right, I got a question for you, Dusty.
Oh, here we go. What's up, Scotch?
I saw it come up in chat. Actually, it's for everybody. What do you guys think about the new color? What do you think it's going to be? What's its gimmick?
So I think there's 2 options. I think this is, I've talked about it quite a few times. I think it's, what I hope it is from like a game design standpoint, I hope it's just colorless. I hope it's just like the gray color. That way, it fits into everything. And that way you have cards that you have to play around no matter what you're playing. Because right now you sit down, you see that your opponent's playing blue, yellow, or whatever. You're like, okay, these are the cards I need to play around. Once you introduce like a colorless color, then you have to be like, crap. Now you could have this card in the deck. You could have this card in the deck. It's a big deal. It makes the game more strategic. It makes it more skill-based. I think that the color it'll probably be though is purple, which scares me because I think that if you introduce a new color, it's going to be really hard to make that color really good with only 1 set of cards. So that's my 2 things. What do you think, Scotch?
All right, I'm about to drop some knowledge on you. Ready for this? Here we go.
Never mind, I said Danny.
So,
Danny, what'd you think? What'd you think, Danny?
Oh, come on! I've got a whole spiel for this.
I'll make mine quick. I was actually going to pick the color purple as well. I hope whenever a new color does come out, I hope it has something that deals with your graveyard more, like your discard pile, something that interacts with that more, and something that interacts with your energy, something like switching out one of your previously played energy with something from your hand type deal, so they're not just dead cards when you play them as your energy. But yes, I really want something to deal with the discard. I hope they do something with that. And that's it.
Awesome. Max, what do you think, buddy? Back there lounging.
Foils.
You want the new color to be foils.
Yes.
That's just the new color. It's just foiled. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want it to be purple because it's like a combination color. I would rather it be colorless or something like really ridiculous, like, I don't know, lemon lime terrain yellow, or like, I don't know, aquamarine. That'd be cool.
Aquamarine. What is that? Is that a greenish blue?
It's just like the first cool sounding color I can think of. But yes.
Max is like, I want it to be royal gold. I want it to be. Jordan, what do you think?
I'm not really too sure. I mean, I think that being set 3, introducing a new color now would mean you would have to print a ton of that color. So I think realistically it'll be colorless, or it could be a color, but it'll be be able to play and everything. So I think that's what it'll be.
All right, cool. Well, I think that's everybody. So next question.
You're so nice to me, that, Dustin.
All right, Scotch. Scotch, what do you think, buddy?
All right. So has anybody other than me played Xenoverse? No. Okay.
No, I haven't.
So in Xenoverse, the 2 main bad guys, Toa and Mira, basically, which by the way this color is based on, have the ability to take people from alternate time, or from the timeline itself from Dragon Ball, and basically turn them, into a dark version of themselves, and their aura becomes purple. All right, stay with me here. We're getting to it. Their whole goal throughout both Xenoverse games is to corrupt the timeline in order to gain enough energy from it to destroy the timelines. So what I'm thinking, all right, and don't quote me on this because if I'm wrong, it's going to be really funny. I'm going to get a lot of backlash, but if I'm right, it's going to be awesome. I think that the new effect that we're going to get from the new color is if your opponent has more energy than you, take their energy, put it in your energy area. At the end of the turn, send it to the respective drop area.
Whoa.
That seems like a nightmare, first of all. That
You're not allowed to make card games ever.
You're not allowed.
Here's why. Look, here's why. So every single thing that we've gotten in this game so far has been based on the character, right? So we've got Cell, who absorbs 17 and 18 and gains more power. You've got Frieza, who destroys his own people in order to untap energy and draw. We've got, Goku, who's basically
Eats a
just
lot of
powering
food.
up the whole time. He just destroys your energy and eats a whole bunch of cards. And it's just progressively each theme is going with each character. Now, if we go purple and, we know it's Xenoverse because we've got the image and we just, literally it's the image ripped straight from the game box. I think it's a possibility.
Max, I see you over there. What are you thinking about this awesome game mechanic?
Max is like Scotch isn't allowed to ever design any kind of
No,
game ever.
I'm not acknowledging that. That's not a thing.
Max is like, he didn't say anything. All right, next question. All right. At KitchenTableMeta, is the active main effect of Big Get A Star free when playing the new Frieza leader? Help.
Go Scotch.
I need to read the Frieza. Does it say from hand? If the Frieza leader says from hand, the answer is no. Give me 1 sec. I'll pull up the card. All right. Let's see here. And it states, when you activate an extra card, you may choose one card from your life, add it to your hand. If you do so, reduce the energy cost of that card by 1 for the duration of the turn. If this reduces the energy cost of that extra card to less than 1, you may activate it without playing the card's specified cost. So you're activating it, aren't you? It doesn't say from hand. I don't see why it wouldn't. Max?
I'm also trying to get the card text because I'm not searching correctly.
At KitchenTableMeta, looks like you're in a cave. I actually am in a cave.
You're in a man cave, aren't you?
No, I'm actually just in the cave. After that terrible game mechanic you'd invented, I was like, I have to hide.
Retreat. Not for saying because I wasn't listening to you while I was actually like searching.
I explained it, and since you're activating a card, technically you're activating its skill. I don't see why it wouldn't, because it doesn't mention anything from the hand.
The problem with this game is activating has 2 different meanings, and I hate that. But baby steps. I agree with that. It's just if you're playing it, you can just pop the cost because it's an extra card.
All right. Eddie Money says, at KitchenTableMeta, can you please have Max explain the all areas portion of Vegito here to save the day, please?
Okay. 1 moment.
See, now we have to pull up cards to get the exact text.
On the Frieza thing, doesn't the I don't have the card in front of me either, obviously, but I think doesn't it mean like it doesn't say play from hand? Thought it did.
No, it doesn't.
It's play or activate. That's what my confusion was.
Yeah, because like I think like if you play from your hand, it reduces the cost when you play the card, but not when you actually activate it.
It says when you activate, not when you play.
Sure.
That's the only problem with this game. Like they double tap on they double down on the activate. So like that's just something that probably need to be like clarified.
Now, if it said when you play an extra card, that'd be completely different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it would be from hand. But based on what I'm seeing from the text and interpreting what I am, when you activate an extra card, it can be on the board. You activate it.
Okay, let's go back now. So Eddie wanted to know, what about Vegeta here to save the day?
Let me reread the question. It says, can you please have Max explain the all areas portion of Vegito here to save the day, please?
I love this question. All areas. What is all areas?
Well, I don't know that there's a card that currently plays a card from your energy area, but that would be kind of what it's referencing. Basically, this card, rather than explain that, it just means that you cannot play Vegito. You cannot. It's like 2 sentences, and they both say the same thing. So, you can't reanimate it, you can't put it into play, you can't search it from your deck, you can't do anything to cheat it in. So, obviously, if you Bobbity this, you have to have the criteria, it's everything.
Right. Right. I mean, I think Max is, I mean, obviously with the ruling, right? But earlier he said he feels like the big problem with this game is they double down on rulings. And I agree. It's like, it's almost like they take like 4 sentences to explain something they could have explained with like 3 words. Like, and I feel like this is one of those cards that does that. Like Max said, it's just literally telling you can't play the card until you have the, like, was it the Gohan Youth and the Trunks and Goten Youth, right? And your drop
that's
right. Yeah. At KitchenTableMeta, do we know when contacts for Orlando judges will go out? I don't know that. I don't know if Max knows that, but I don't have a clue.
I think Josh posted that it's within 24 hours. I know that to be true, so it's within the next 2 days. So obviously we're here about a week out now, so I gotta start rounding up people, asking them hard questions.
Right. At KitchenTableMeta, what is y'all's thoughts on Draft Frieza? Any testing? I mean, yeah, we talked about it a lot earlier in the show. Essentially, we all said we thought it was pretty good, except Scotch, which said it was terrible, which is par for the course. I mean, everyone says one thing, and then Scotch said-
I didn't say it was terrible.
I'm sorry, you said it was unplayable.
It's virtually unplayable. I don't like the card. I think that it's not
It
good.
combos with big spaghetti.
Okay, Scotch, please explain to me the difference between unplayable and virtually unplayable.
I mean, virtually unplayable means people are still going to try and make it work.
Oh, I'll answer that. It means that you can't play it in Octagon because it's not coded in.
Right.
It's
Okay.
virtually
Yeah, it
unplayable.
is. It is in Octagon. It's in Octagon. What are you on about right now?
At KitchenTableMeta, as someone who played the Naruto card game from Bandai many years ago, what do you think is the real threat level of Bandai overreacting to tournament play and possibly bringing forth an errata list to bend the game to what they want or envision? I mean, I'll let everyone answer this. It's a pretty big deal. I mean, Max is the one I'm the most excited to hear what he says about this. I don't think designers do that. I mean, I've been on design teams before for games, and we've never been like, you know what, we need to errata a card so they'll play it the way we want to. You know, you just learn from it. You see the way, you know, that people play the cards. I mean, as a designer, that's why playtesting is really important, because a lot of the times you'll make a card and you'll envision a way you think people will play it, and then and once they play it and they see it in a different light than you do, they play it in some completely different way, which might make it strong or make it weak. And so, yeah, I don't think Bandai will go, you know, hey, you know what? People are playing too much Ginyu in America. Those idiots. Watch this. Let's errata Cold Bloodlust. Like, no, I don't think that's the case. What do you think, Max?
So actually, I left that part out of our conversation. They're actually monitoring everything right now because they're looking for things that are like too either dominant or prevalent. I don't think they're planning to nerf or errata or ban or anything that's like obviously overly played. But they are what they need to do is keep a close eye on the meta and make sure that it does not become stagnant and one-sided, because obviously a lopsided meta will ruin this game quicker than anything. But I can also tell you that the Bandai team from Naruto has nothing to do with this game. Like, they're not even a thing anymore. This is a completely different team. So honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about it so far. I mean, they've got good help. That's me. So I think we're gonna kind of play it by ear here until something like actually becomes like a toxic problem. I think we'll be kind of safe. We'll just hopefully won't have that ever.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think the game's in an awesome spot. I mean, I think the game's very balanced. I think it's very well, you know, put together. I think that you can tell they actually play test the game. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, some of the wording on the cards, I think, needs help. Obviously, if you ever have read Time Ring, you know, have fun reading that card. But I think there is some issues, but with wording. But I think gameplay, it's fantastic. It's one of the best card games I've ever played, and and I've played a lot of them. Does anybody else want to touch on that question before I move on? The next one's for Danny.
I got nothing on that one.
Okay. All right. At KitchenTableMeta, did anyone talk to Bandai about bringing the tournament kits / promos to Canada?
I have no idea on any of that. Actually, we've been getting our shipment of tournament kits have slowly been coming in. A lot of my local stores, at least in my area, have slowly started getting them in. So we've actually been having like some pretty good tournaments with tournament packs, that's what hurt us in set one. Not too many people came out for the tournaments because I guess they didn't feel like there was enough. There wasn't any prize support. But now that there is, we've been getting like a decent turnout and like consistent players, and
nice.
Which kind of like, it sucks that that's the reason people come out, because these tournament packs or promos, or at least were worth so much at the time, and whatnot. It kind of sucks in that sense. But I don't know, if they can get more of that stuff. Like, I don't care if the prices are high or low. I don't really care as long as people are coming out. But yeah, it's nice to see more people playing the game.
Yeah. And what do you guys think about the promo packs? I mean, I think they're a brilliant addition to the game. I mean, I think that it could have been done a little bit better in certain situations, obviously. But I think that's more of like the game got too successful too fast and they just weren't prepared for it. But I love that like those tournament packs bring people out to events, because I think a lot of games struggle getting people to come to events, and it's a great way to reward casual players that might know they'll never win the event, but they know they can get their hands on these promo packs. I mean, what do you guys think?
I think that it sometimes can create a false sense of a community for a store. I know, especially down here, and I know it happens all over the country, there's a lot of people that just won't go to a tournament if they don't have tournament packs. Like, they have everything. Like, the prize support is always solid, especially around here. There's places that, first place will get an SPR. but people won't show up if there's no tournament packs. Whereas when there are tournament packs, there's 30, 40, 50 people showing up. So it creates a false sense of a community in the area. But at the same time, I think it's a really good idea if it's done properly. If they can get the tournament packs out to everybody, they can get a good number that's a consistent number to the stores, then sure, I don't see it being a bad idea at all. I know that there's multiple card games that do it, and when it's done well, it works. However, with the scarcity of the tournament packs, they become money, and then people will only come to get money. So it's this whole never-ending cycle that one misstep causes an entire issue in the community.
No, I mean, I'll tell you, from somebody who's worked at multiple companies and stuff, the hardest part about creating a game competitively is getting casual people to show up. And if you can break that code, whatever it is, different games go different ways, that's how you make a game be a success. You know what I mean? Max, what do you think about this question?
I think I'm pro tournament packs. The only thing I'm not pro is like the scarcity of it. It's like I gotta choose my words carefully here. I think if we had 500 tournament packs easily available and everyone just had them surplus, and like they couldn't give them all away in time before they got another batch, I think we'd have like a completely different scenario here. Like if everything was like easily kind of adjusted here. Florida, for example, it has this like a huge Dragon Ball Super scene. Jacksonville, where I live, does not have a scene. We've only literally just begun, so we don't have any TP1 promos, and we're only just now getting TP2s. I think maybe one person in town has 4 Gohans. And it's not me.
Jordan, Danny, you guys have any?
Actually, that's the one thing that we didn't get, the whole BBC stuff, like the Bardoks and the Gohans. We never got any of that, which kind of sucks us. Those Gohans are quite nice, and I have 2, but that's because I travel to the States to play in their shop championships.
I actually had a playset of those ready for you, Danny. I forgot them here. I swear.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. I had because like my local store has tons of them, and like I because I already have a playset, so every time I went, I just kept one. I was going to give you a playset. I completely forgot. So remind me after this. Remind me after this to get your address or whatever else.
Yo, Dusty, you want to hook me up with a couple of those too? Because there ain't a lot of them down here in Orlando. I know I'm going to see you next weekend.
You could take them from me whenever you steal my mana or whatever. Whenever you have the purple collar.
You know what? You can hate on that all you want, but when I'm right, because I've been right on these kind of perceptions before in the past for other games.
You just want the game to die? Is that what you're saying?
It will not die. Listen, one energy is not that detrimental, okay?
I just love this suggestion. Gosh, like, I think the new caller will let you look at your player's deck box and just take one of their sideboard cards and just keep it forever. I think that's the effect it'll have. I think that's.
You gotta understand. We need something to combat Cell, my dude. We need something.
That's what you could do. You could play out a card. You just take their leader and you just take it. Put it
no, you stun their. How about stunning the leader? Stunning the leader would be nice. Make it so they can't untap their leader.
Okay.
Make it so they can't untap it. So like they can't untap it till the end of till the beginning of their next turn. That'd be kind of busted.
I think that Cell doesn't have to attack one time to win the game. So it doesn't seem very good to me.
Vegeta does.
Right, but you already said Vegeta's the worst leader of the game.
I didn't say he's the worst leader of the game. I just said he's a bad card.
This is a question for all of you. I've been playing Soul Striker since day one, and I'm always trying to improve it. Currently, I have blue-green and blue-red. Which do you think is the better version? I think it's blue-green. That's me as in Dusty. I'm not continuing on the question. Yeah, I think blue-green is the best version because you get to play Kel, and I love that card. I think it works really well with Soul Striker Goku because he has very few cards in hand, and so she allows you to build your hand back up. So I think that's the best. Jordan, what do you think?
For Soul Striker Goku, I think that blue-green is better than blue-red. I just think it's more consistent, and the deck flows, I think, a lot better with the green rather than the red. The red, you're kind of reliant on... well, the red's just like more aggressive, and I think the deck's just better with the green mid-range cards. I don't really know too much about playing the decks against each other, but I just think the blue-green is better versus the meta right now.
Definitely.
Yeah, I played Soul Striker in set 1 like quite a bit, and I really liked the set 2, especially with the red. The red is really fun, just because set 1 I never played any red, so being able to play red this set was pretty fun. But the blue-green is definitely better, 100% because of the 5-drop Gotenks. Being able to play him for potentially 1 energy, it's ridiculous. You can play like multiple him on one turn, and now with that unyielding Trunks, you can untap that 1 energy, and then Sensu Beans, like you can basically reset your turn after playing him, and like I don't know, just the green cards are just so good right now.
Yeah, I agree. Max, do you have any comment?
Oh no, actually, I agree with both of you. That was perfect. Just literally what I would say.
Okay, all right. So, Scotch, anything to say before we went through here?
Since I'm clearly the heel of this group, blue-red. I'm gonna say
That's
blue-red.
about right. No, I think blue-red. I think that's a great opinion, Scotch. Thank you so much for that opinion. I think blue-red's very good, and honestly, you've actually changed my mind. I think blue-red is now the best one. Thank you, Scotch.
Listen. All right. Since like I said, I'm clearly the heel. I'm not gonna agree with everybody in this chat. You know, like
Right.
for a second, I was like, yeah, blue-green's probably the more solid, but the aggression that you can get from red as a color is just insane. So consistently having double strike every single turn, put Kabbas on the board, early game Kabbas, then bring out Bobbity later. It can get overwhelming very quickly. Red is a
when
very
they make the new
color.
purple card that says all one-cost
Oh my
cards
God.
have
Oh
to
my God! Can I help
take
you?
a damage for being played?
Can I help you? Like, I swear,
that.
there's gonna be 50 memes about this after the stream.
Don't give yourself that much credit. There might be like
Yeah.
one. All right, so it'd probably be the one you make, Scott. You just make it. You're like, I'll start it.
I'm not saying purple, but it's purple.
All right. Okay, guys. So we're just gonna answer like probably 2 or 3 more questions. We're gonna get these guys out of here. They've been here for a long time. Thank you. Again, guys, for all being here. Thank you again, chat, for asking these guys questions. I know we could probably be here for the rest of the night just answer questions. So thank you so much.
I can talk about this game all day.
Oh yeah, me too, man. I mean,
Yeah, it's great.
I mainly just get out here because Scotch he has a bedtime and stuff. So, so at KitchenTableMeta, how do you all think they will do a ban list? Do you think they will have a rotation or straight up ban cards? Let Max lead with this question.
I don't know, honestly. I don't think the game is like in a position with a few cards that they make per set to do a rotation. Like, I mean, they could, but it would need to be like, it would have to be like a 9. It would have to be something akin to Pokemon where you have like a very long period of time and then you have like an extended rotation essentially. And I'm not a fan of a ban list either because I don't even like doing it to spice up metas, like flavor bannings essentially, like when you think of like League of Legends and how they will change a patch before like a big tournament.
Right.
But I don't know, like I prefer games just to be like, just like have like a 1 to 3 good decks. I do like single deck metas, but honestly, just kind of from there, just like literally just like seeing how it unfolds. Like I don't really like changing things beyond that because it just makes everything look bad.
Yeah, actually, one thing I like to see them do, like I guess bannings. I mean, I don't think this game needs a banning. I mean, honestly, from a designer standpoint, bannings are for like emergency situations. Like I don't think you ever want to ban anything. Most of the time, you want to print a card that deals with something you might think is a little too strong. That's a healthy way to do it. But I would love to see a format in this game where instead of us having best of 3, we just have it so, and it'd be really hard to do, but it'd be fun if players brought 3 decks, like, and the decks had to be 3 different leaders, and then your opponent could ban one of your leaders, so they could be like, you can't play the Cell deck, and then it'd be the first player to win with both of their leaders that they have would win. So like if you won with Vegeta, huh? What was that?
It's like a little different King of the Hill.
Yeah. It's similar. Like Hearthstone does something very similar too, and I think it would be really. I think it'd be really fun in this game. I think it'd be super fun, but I don't think we have enough time and rounds to be able to pull it off. Plus, 3 decks is a lot.
Well, if we get the purple color, that will add time.
That's actually what it'll do. It'll be like when you play this card, you just add time to the clock, to the round timer.
You guys are physically hurting me with these comments. Like, we get it. Scotch is a visionary. We get it.
No, I mean that game sounds terrible. Danny, what do you think, buddy? What do you think they'll do? You think they'll have a ban list? You think they'll do rotations?
I've never I think the last game I played was Force of Will, and they started doing rotations, and I understand the reasoning behind having to do them, but I don't know. I don't like that the cards that I have will be like kind of unplayable or just like or only playable in a single format. I think I'd much prefer just like maybe like a ban list, I guess, if things get too crazy.
Yeah, me too. I mean, so do you guys think you guys don't want a rotation at all?
We can't have a rotation with 120 card sets because like when you do rotations, you gotta have flavor reprints of just like vanilla things. You'd have to like make kale but make it like Kava or something.
Right.
But then like you have like an open format at any point ever, and you're like, I got 2 kales now. You're just like, shit.
I mean, I think you have to have a rotation, right? I mean, eventually. I'm not saying like you need one like next set, like after like 3 sets, but you have to have a rotation eventually, or it's hard to get new players in, right?
I mean, that's accomplished either through reprints or like power creep.
Okay,
but,
that's
I mean,
true. Okay,
I would definitely agree with rotation though between those two options.
Okay, so that's actually a good point. So you're saying don't rotate, just reprint cards. So like maybe next set they'll sneak like booze in, or like the next set put in objections and like some of the more staples. That's actually not a bad idea.
There's a problem. They've eliminated the ability to reprint cards though. So if they reprint cards in different sets with different set numbers, Bandai has already come out and stated that you can play multiple copies of the same card if it's got a different set number. That was one of the first things we heard back in like
Where did it say that?
August. So you can break a play set of a card if it's got if it's got a different set number.
So you're saying if they reprint Boo in set 3, you could run 8 Boos in your deck.
If it says BT3, then yeah, you can run multiple of the same card. So that's one reason, like, anybody who's ever brought it up to me in the past has said, because when that came out, I want to say it was on their Twitter page, or I can't remember where it was, but it stated you could break a playset of a card if it has a different set number. And on that point, that's why, like, when Majin Buu got up to like $10 and everybody's like, oh, they're just going to reprint it. I'm like, they can't reprint it. They can't.
Well, they
so
could. So
I'm not.
Well, they could. It would have to have the same set number, though, right?
Yeah, I don't know if the 10K shields have the same set number on it. The winter ones, can anybody verify that? I haven't looked on.
I don't think that's in the rules, but I mean, like that was something that would be in the floor guide about like deck legality.
They have the same number. Yeah,
same number. Yeah, same number for the winners.
It's proof right there. I mean, they have the same set number because they don't.
I don't know that that's proof, but
there's no alt art promos, so that's not really proof.
Right. But I mean, that's what you're saying. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, if that is true, I mean, that's definitely a good point for sure. Because I mean, that would really obviously change the game if you can run 8 Boos in your deck now. That's crazy.
Well, technically, you can run 8 Boos. You have a Goku that does the same thing, but it's a 2-drop instead.
Right.
So if you really want to be bad, you can play 4 Boo for Curious Goku.
Right.
Yeah, the purple Boo, he does both for 2 less.
Yeah.
Costs -1. He untaps energy.
Purple Boo also lets you add a card from your drop area to your hand too.
Right. I mean, clearly that's what I meant. So when I said that. All right. So next question, Danny, how do you get tournament kits / promos in Canada for your stores? My stores can't sign up for the BCC because it says it's US only.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with the distributors. Like the stores just, I don't think they just get it from a distributor, like whatever the distributors are that have it that they're shipping to US too, but they just have more or extra for their Canadian store base, I guess, and they just get it from them. But like when we first got like the set 2 stuff, there wasn't any dash packs that came with them. But yeah, so I think it's kind of just them getting them from distributors. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. At Kitchen Table Meta, any Kitchen Table Meta t-shirts being given away. I'm a fan. First of all, thank you for being a fan. Second of all, yeah, I can definitely get some made up. I've been meaning to do that forever. I mean, Jordan will tell you. I mean, I've been trying to get t-shirts made up. I just, like, when I sit down, it's just like a black hole. I just, like, keep getting sucked into different stuff. And I promise I will get some t-shirts up sometime. I do. I promise that. Right now, I'm trying to work on jerseys for the players, for the team. And then after that, I'll get some t-shirts made up. Hashtag Danny Hype Squad. For sure. Danny Hype's awesome. I mean, I love this guy.
It's been in the chat the entire time. You just see it pop.
Is that the first time I saw it? Okay. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. It's all over there.
Okay. What distributor do I talk to get promo packs in my store? Either GTS or GTS
Alliance.
Or Alliance.
Alliance.
Yeah. Most of my stores use Alliance, but GTS is also very good. So it's 100%, whatever your store prefers. I don't understand the Soul Striker, that top 16 regionals. It looked very odd to me. That could be why at top 16. Sometimes the odd decks get up there. Scotch is a good example of that. How was ARG and which one you guys going to now? That's a good question. So I loved the ARG event. It was awesome. ARG put on a great event. We had amazing judges. Amazing players. Everything went good. It was super smooth. So I had a blast. So, we talked a little bit about this at the beginning, but I do want to cover this again. What tournaments are you guys going to go to? Max, are you going to try to head judge them all? I mean, what's your plan?
I actually probably won't be head judging them all, but I'm hoping to go to all or maybe all but one of them. We're going to probably rotate around the head judges to give other people opportunities to do that, just to kind of try and feel out a better team for bigger events to come. But
sick.
I really want to go to most of them. I mean, I love being a part of this community and doing things. I don't think I want to floor judge. I'll probably do something like score keep so that we have a very smooth event or something. But I mean, honestly, I will fill whatever role I need to because I can do them all.
Yeah, that sounds sick. That sounds sick. Jordan, which ones are you thinking about going to, buddy?
Right now I'm thinking about going to. Well, I know I'm definitely going to Richmond, and then the other two that are on the fence are Indianapolis and Charlotte. So I'm going to try and hit up those 3, making it a total of 4 out of the 6.
Okay, Scotch.
I'm trying to go to all of them except for Los Angeles or Las Vegas because I don't have $500 for a plane ticket. But I will definitely be in Orlando next weekend. I'm going to Indianapolis. I'm going to Virginia, and I'll be at Charlotte. So,
All right, Danny.
hopefully on staff for most of those, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, definitely. Danny, what do you think, buddy? Which ones are you gonna make the trip for?
Next one, I am going to be hitting up. I got lucky with the Vegas one. It's my sister and my girlfriend's like birthday weekend at the same time. And they wanted to hit up Vegas like on that exact weekend. And I was like, what? Yes. So the stars aligned for me there. So I'll be going to Vegas. I think Indy's the next one that's close enough for me to kind of drive to. And then I might hit up the Virginia one because one of my friends, Jimmy, I guess he lives out there, and he says I could stay with him while I'm out there. So that'd be pretty sweet.
That's sick. Yeah, that's awesome. So happy birthday to your girls, huh? I'm just gonna go. Like, I'm gonna go play cards later, nerds. Like,
basically.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Favorite Dragon Ball character? Mine's Beerus. Obviously, no surprise there. How about you guys?
Mine was Vegeta until I don't know. He keeps taking a back seat to just everybody.
Yeah, it's everybody. Literally all of them.
So for now, it's I really like Frieza. Gold, like the way they're doing Frieza right now.
Yeah, I actually like Frieza a lot now too. Yeah, I've always liked Frieza before, but it's just like he's just so cool right now.
Yeah.
Scotch.
Look at what it's happened. The meme has been created, Dusty.
Has it?
I didn't do it. Somebody sent me it.
Sure, you didn't do it.
Trunks. Yeah. Trunks and Broly. I say Broly because I've got Broly on the inside of my arm tattooed. But Trunks all the way.
Jordan.
Well, I know a lot of people think they know what I'm gonna say, but I'm not gonna say it.
Ginyu.
This guy's my favorite character.
Cell. There he is.
He's my favorite character.
Little dude. Max.
The purple version of Scotch with Super Saiyan hair.
that steals all your energy.
Everybody look in the chat. Everybody look in the chat real quick. I'm gonna show you this emote. This is me going Super Saiyan blue. So just imagine that with purple hair.
Oh, what have I done?
Yeah. Nice. Okay, guys, like just a couple more questions. This question is actually really cool. I'm really excited to see Max's answer this. At KitchenTableMeta, what are your thoughts on next steps after regionals end? So after we have all the regionals, what is your hope that happens?
Heavy.
That is tough. Well, I just hope that we get more events. I mean, it would just suck that if like everything just stopped. But I mean, ultimately, it's up to Bandai here because, as you know, Jim has said multiple times, this is a trial basis so far. And obviously, where it looks like things are doing good, Bandai said they loved the way the event looked in New York. They were very excited with the turnout. So honestly, I mean, that's good news when someone tells you they're very excited and it looks great. I mean, who knows what can happen next? I mean, only good things, I would assume. So definitely, I would love to see some sort of like I feel like there should be some sort of event or like something like that we're leading into like I don't even want to say a championship event or into nationals. I mean, there should be something if we're gonna have regionals. Like, they should lead into something. I don't know if we need to go the route of every other anime card game where we take someone to Japan and they get lost or whatever. But it's just like I don't know. Like there should be something in like an actual like really cool like sick meaning behind like something that you worked for like the entire season to get to.
Sure, yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, it's another good way to get people to keep going to events too. I mean, even after promos, I mean, it's a good way to get people going. I mean, yeah. I've always said, you know, there's 3 big things that a card game needs to be successful. Number 1 is it has to come out in Europe. We've done that, so that's number 1. Number 2 is have an online client. I mean, to me, that's really important. And I think that, I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, but it seems like there's groundwork there. There's framework for that to happen, which is exciting. And I think number 3 is to have a world's, like, they need to have a world championship. You need, like you said, Max, or something like that. You need to have something for players to play towards. So that way, you know, you have those competitive players that are building to something. And I think if those 3 things happen, then you can compete with, you know, Magic and and Pokemon, you know. And so I think you know, DBS is getting there. So I'd like to see an online client come out next. I would like for Bandai to say, okay, this game is popular, people really want to play this game, let's invest the time into making an online client, because I think that would just make the game, you know, blow up, in my opinion. So Scotch, what do you think?
I'm thinking the first annual Tenkaichi Budokai. I'm thinking we get a world tournament. That's what I want to see. I want to see a world tournament, and I want it to be named. I want it to be Tenkaichi Budokai because that is themed, and I am gimmicky, and every marketing agent in the world loves me. As for the video game, as for the mobile app, they've already got the grassroots for it. They've already got it. It's there. Just add the cards, get rid of that tutorial, and just boom, you got a game. Bada bing, bada boom, done.
Yeah, I mean, it's that easy. You just hit 2 buttons and you got a whole game. Yep.
Tell me about it. I used to be, it's not like I didn't build video games for a living when I was younger. So
right, definitely. Danny,
no,
I'm sorry, Scotch. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, it's good. Go ahead.
No, I assist, please.
Okay, I guess. No, I was just gonna say Budokai Tenkaichi. Yeah, it'd be nice.
That would be sick. That would be really cool. Yeah, or maybe even some, like, I know Bandai is very against it, but it'd be cool to see some money matches, like not money matches, like tournaments with money. That'd be another good way to get, you know, more people into the, you know, or more competitive people into the game. Because I know I have a lot of friends that are super competitive at card games, and they're teetering it. You know, they're like, is it worth it? I'm not sure yet. But as soon as you drop like a 1 or 2K in front of them, they're like, okay, wait, what's this game? You know, they're very interested at that point. Danny, I'm sorry, Scotch, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I swear, Danny, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. At the same time, I don't want to see it become like Konami, where first place gets an iPad. You know what I mean? Like, prizing for Japanese games is always going to be weird because they don't want to give cash payouts, and technically, I think it's considered gambling if you win cash.
I think it depends on the state you live in. But yeah, I mean, I think most of the time it's not. It's considered prize winnings, which is usually okay. But again, I think it depends on the state. So, but yeah, I mean, like, I think the event that happened in California, that was sick. They got like an iPhone X for first and like a PlayStation for second. I mean, that was super successful. I mean, they definitely got a lot of people for that event. So I think regionals got more people, right, Max? But I think that event still was really successful. I think just like a card shop held that one, so it's pretty cool.
If the prizing is there, the people will come.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Jordan, I'll let you go. I thought if I didn't say Danny, maybe Scotch would stop talking. So Jordan, what would you like to see?
I would like to see a Worlds tournament for sure. I know that I bring it up before, but Panini Dragon Ball Z had a Worlds tournament, and it just gives you something to play for. I know they implemented a system where you get points based on your performance, and then if you got first or second, you automatically got an invite. So you didn't have to exactly win a tournament, but you could just place well, and you would get points, and they would let so many players attend based on your points. And I think if they implement that for like a regionals or like a set amount of tournaments, and it would I think it would increase the amount of participants. But the prizes for Worlds would be interesting because I know that like Nini was all cash prizes, so they would have to make it a big incentive, you know, for that Worlds tournament as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, Danny.
All right, so I think one of the most fun times I've had playing a card game was I think it was my friend. He was playing Vanguard, and they were having I think it was called the team leagues. Team leagues or whatever. And like, so like he made a deck for me, and like we went to the tournament. It was like me, him, and another friend, and it was like us three against 3 other players. And like that was probably like one of the most fun tournaments I ever played in. That sounds
super fun, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that'd be really cool if they did that.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. I know they do it with Magic too, where like one person plays Legacy, one person plays Modern, and one person plays Standard, and like those are always super fun to watch. Like, it's just cool. I mean, anytime you bring a team into it, I think makes the game super, like, a lot more fun. Yeah, definitely. All right, I'm gonna go through these last questions super fast because you're just like one-shotters. Here's a really cool card idea. It says Purple Toa Leader. Put a life into your hand to grab a card from your binder and put it into your hand. And then once it awakens, you can put a life into your hand to take a card out of your opponent's binder. Put it into your hand. That sounds really good, Scotch. What do you think? Okay.
I need some bleach.
KitchenTableMeta, did you apply for the ARG stream for Orlando? Yes, I did. I applied. Eddie, real quick, when do you guys think that will be issued ID cards to have an online ranking system? Max, I'll let you answer that real quick.
Jim's been saying today he talked to Bandai about that on Sunday. I don't know how quick the turnaround is. I don't even know if they said yes, but he said it like 4 different times today. So we are going to do that. And it's funny enough about that because like I think he only did that because they left the stupid ID field on the deck list. So people, like 18 people asked about it. I don't have my game ID. That was a nightmare round one for me, but
Yeah.
Oh man,
So,
let me.
you guys will get that now.
At KitchenTableMeta, anyone excited for Fighter Z? I know I am. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing a couple videos on my channel about that. I mean, I'm not. It's like around the same wheelhouse. I'm thinking about doing. I'm real excited. I'm garbage at fighting games. It's actually the only genre I haven't like played like at a professional level is fighting games. So like I'm actually kind of interested in trying that. How about you guys? You guys know about that game? Anybody in here excited about it?
I'm hoping to stream it.
I'm hoping for the purple
hoping to
version
stream
of
it.
that game.
Awesome.
Oh
Awesome.
my god.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. That's all the questions. We got caught up in questions. I'm going to let everybody here say goodbye to you guys, which is tradition. But, guys, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Sorry we ran a little bit over. Sorry we were a little late. Sorry the overlay doesn't look very good. I apologize. But like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. You can catch me on YouTube. You guys know about that. You can catch me here at Twitch. I'm going to start trying to stream a little bit more. So I might start trying to stream like Monday through Thursday, or I guess, try to stream. I like doing it a lot, and you guys seem to be asking about it a lot. So I'm definitely going to try to do that some more. And you guys can catch me on YouTube, catch me on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for your support. You guys are awesome. I love you all. Thank you so much. I'm going to start with Max, let everybody say goodbye, and then we're going to get out of here. Please make sure you check all of my guest stuff out. Make sure you check out Danny Hype on YouTube. Check out Jordan on YouTube. Check out Scotch on whatever he does on Twitch. He's an awesome guy. All these guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here, guys. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, it really means so much for you guys to take time out of your day to come here and be on my channel and talk. I just really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, Max, take it away.
I just want to say that I think Chris Sock had the best deck at the tournament. I just never got time to fit that in. He played Jiren and Cell. He's a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I need to go to bed. Thank you all for showing up. It was great. I appreciate it.
All right, Scotch. No, I want to let
All
Scotch
right.
go last. No, never mind. Jordan.
Just thanks for bringing me on again. Always have fun doing this,
My
and
pleasure.
everybody have a good night.
All right, Danny, tell us where we can find you at. Say your goodbyes.
Yeah, check me out on that's Danny Hype on both Twitch and YouTube. I'll make a shout out to my Toronto crew, the ANC Brigade. Thanks for coming into the channel and spamming. I saw them spamming stuff, but I wasn't actually reading it. But thanks for coming out, supporting me, you guys. And yeah, thanks again, Dusty, for having me. I could talk about this game all day.
Dude, it's my pleasure. This won't be the last time, my friend. Won't be the last time. Thank you so much for being here. You are amazing. Definitely check this guy out on Twitch and YouTube. He's a great guy. All right, Scotch, take us away, buddy. As soon as you're done talking, we're out of here, so make it good.
All right, guys. Just want to say thanks to Dusty, thanks to Danny, thanks to Jordan, thanks to Max. Guys, y'all are great. Check me out on twitch.tv/ScotchTY. Monday, well, actually every day but Wednesday and Sunday, we stream 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also part of the team, The Wise Guys on YouTube, so check out that channel. Guys, that's all I got. Dusty, let's get out of here.
No, you have to say it. You guys all have to say, all 4 of you guys say goodbye at the same time. Go.
Bye.
Goodbye.